It's you, girl, who opened the space and woke me up. All of a sudden, a voice like a gloomy voice from outside the sky suddenly sounded in her ear. Cloud dance, but subconsciously a retreat, because her heart is very clear. Mouth, it is the black fog above. You, who are you? Cloud dance wants to speak, but the voice is stuck in the throat like, can only voice of shout. I didn't expect to hear that, black fog. Haha, do you want to know who I am? Then let the king out first, and I will tell you what you want to know. The words were seductive. Cloud dance frowned and glanced at it. I don't really want to know anything. You don't even say it. Forget it. I'll call you Black Fog in the future. When she came to this strange world, she had seen all kinds of things. Now she has entered her own spiritual space, seeing such a dark fog that she can speak. Even though she feels fantastic, she is quite calm. However, as soon as her words fell, a pair of huge scarlet eyes suddenly appeared in the black fog, staring at the clouds. If you don't let me out, you will be the first one to eat. What an evil, gloomy voice. What a grim sense of danger. Cloud dance, heart trembles. Unfortunately, what she dislikes most is the threat from others. She straightens her back and looks up at it. Although I don't know who you are imprisoned in my spiritual space, but you are in my territory. You'd better be good, or I will be rude to you. You're welcome to me. Haha, just you, girl. Under the sound of gloomy laughter, a force of inexplicable oppression forced him to go to the cloud dance. Yunwoo's face changed slightly against the sudden pressure. Very strange power, not painful, but can let her have a sense of terror and oppression. What is the black fog? Next second, her consciousness was directly squeezed out of the spiritual space. Squeezed out? Yes, in her own spiritual space, she was squeezed out by the inexplicable black fog. What's the matter? After being squeezed out of the space, Yunwoo has no time to think about it. A strange mental force seems to find the entrance, and suddenly attacks her consciousness crazily. Under the fierce attack of the spirit, the head is like a heavy stone poured into a sharp sword. At the beginning, it was heavy, but gradually a stabbing pain came, especially when it came to the back. When the mental madness hit, Yunwoo felt that his whole head was almost splitting. Pain let Cloud dance can't help but dull hum face pale as paper. Blood pool outside. Long Qingxia, who is injecting Yuanli into her and helping her to be reborn, has a pale face and sweat coming out of her forehead. In this process, it's not just Yunwoo who has to endure the pain. He is also suffering from the animal blood corruption caused by the high temperature. The blood of his skin corruption enters into the blood pool and is absorbed by her. Finally, when she changes her bones and muscles, she becomes one with her. In this way, she can't get rid of him in this life. Yunwoo has a headache and almost wants to roar. She feels like her head is being gnawed by tens of thousands of ants, which makes her feel difficult to breathe. It was a great pain beyond the endurance of ordinary people. Even she felt that she was going to be unable to bear the pain, and her consciousness rolled and she wanted to leave. But Yunwoo found that her conscious body seemed to be imprisoned by something and couldn't move. It seemed that the strange mental force with long thorns pushed her head from all around. Such as swarming, severe headache, even if Yunwoo want to endure, also suddenly can't bear it. But the voice is locked in the throat voice, cannot make any sound, can only in that heart-crazy roar, as if to be burst by the crazy influx of mental power. Suddenly. For a while, the top heavy and the feet light, and then, the world turns around confused, as if to see, that his crazy toward her head squeeze mental force, finally turned into a white fog, mild down. However, everything has become a little illusory. Yunwoo gasps in pain, feeling that the darkness is constantly trying to devour her consciousness, but Yunwoo bites her teeth and doesn't let herself fall into the darkness. I know very well that if I fall into a deep sleep at this time, the consequences may be very serious. Most of the previous hardships have come through. How can she admit defeat this time? But whenever she wants to refuse, her mind will be more painful. Slowly, she found that when she no longer rejected the mental force that squeezed into her head, her pain seemed to ease a lot, that is, her head was very swollen, very swollen. It's like being pushed into too much mental energy, too much support. But I felt that the mental force that came into her head all around her was still in a steady stream. It was obvious that she was forced to accept it, even refused. She doesn't know, these, all are her that black fog move of hand and foot, it is to want to give this wench some lessons. Although it is imprisoned, no human dare to be so rude to it. Although full of mental energy is good, but human beings are fragile. Once the mental energy breaks through too much, it will become a dementia fool. It's as if, with more benefits, it will also have adverse effects. Cloud Dance was forced to accept, really, the head is really painful, but, she felt, this is not the way to go on, it would be better to solve it quickly. If you want to force her to accept it, she'll suck it all, no matter what it is. As soon as this idea came down, Yunwoo completely gave up the mental force of resistance, and in an instant, completely opened the whole body cells, which undoubtedly made the invading mental force more rapid. Absorbing the dark fog of spiritual space, at that moment, suddenly a surprise. It seems that, Hao also did not expect, that girl, not only did not find a way to control and stop the invasion of mental power, on the contrary, also full open, don't lifelike crazy absorption of that mental power. She's not afraid to blow herself up. Headache wants to crack, the whole body pain straight cold sweat. The huge pain is at a loss. Yunwoo really feels that her teeth are about to break, but she is still trying her best to absorb it. Even if it is forcing her to absorb it, she will absorb it as it wishes, and let it lose everything sitting in the blood pool. The body is constantly emitting black gas, skin decay, molting. The speed surprised the dragon. How could it be so fast? According to his calculation time, a conversion process, at least 3 hours. But now, her body has entered the stage of molting. According to this speed, another half an hour, should be able to complete. I don't know how long it took. Cloud Dance still did not stop, even if it felt endless pain, it was still absorbing. Finally, I can't help the dark fog of the spiritual space. I yelled angrily. What a madman! He drank angrily, and the black fog quickly absorbed all the mental energy around him, as if he worried that the mental energy it released would be absorbed by her. You crazy girl, I won't care about you this time, but next time, I'll make you feel like you can't take it. Go away. I saw that the voice of the anger just came in my ear, and the Cloud Dance didn't react, so I felt that I was thrown out by some force. Just now those who die into her consciousness, pain her life and death mental strength, is that black fog make ghost? Damn it. Cloud Dance is angry, but consciousness is a sting. When she opened her eyes, her consciousness had already entered the sea of consciousness and saw the Chaos Palace. Different from the past, around the Chaos Hall, there was a stream of brilliant light, just like the hazy holiness, but it made it difficult for her to move. What's going on? Did her body come back to life? It's on. Big beard. Cloud Dance bottom of the heart shout away. However, I didn't get any response. It seems that these things in front of me are not the same as before. Yunwoo clearly felt that at this time, the Chaos Hall, as if from that remote place, began to really merge in her mind. Gradually into a tower that can be seen clearly, feel the sting under the holy light. But gradually, there is a kind of light. Every time the light turns around in her consciousness, it seems to drive the blood in her body. In the Dantian, there is a wonderful feeling of warm current and endless circulation. The original tingling, even unconsciously eased down, abdominal Dantian, began to warm up. What's going on? Cloud Dance is not very clear. Is some surprised to see, that blooming light of the Chaos Palace, that sacred light seen. All of a sudden, a heavy moving sound came from the stone gate. Then, a distant and ancient breath came to the Cloud Dance. Before she could react, a dignified and low voice came. Congratulations, you have become the new master of Chaos Hall. The first floor, Xingmen, has been opened for you. Just as the voice finished, a tall, dignified and bearded door god suddenly appeared at the gate of Chaos Hall. General guarding Chaos Hall. It's the big beard in Yunwoo's mouth, the door god. However, at this time, the door god general was very serious and dignified. I saw that the first floor door suddenly opened, and a strong white fog filled the space of opening the main hall door. Yunwoo didn't know when he was standing at the gate of the hall. When she calmed down, she realized that with a whoosh, she was automatically inhaled into the white fog space, and the whole person was wrapped by the white fog. In front of my eyes is a vast expanse of white, imperceptible strange feeling. Fortunately, when Baiwu came into contact with her consciousness, it seemed that she was beginning to be fused. Then it was clear that there was a very spacious space inside. Space above, the tornado floating, in addition, is empty, nothing. Is this Chaos Palace? But it looks like a space container, nothing special. The idea of cloud dance just fell in my heart. The mist floating around suddenly whirled like a tornado. Then, she rushed into her eyebrows, forced to pour in, with a very strange text, suddenly into her brain nerve, painful and itchy. But Yunwoo couldn't understand the meaning of the words for a moment. All of a sudden, I felt dizzy and dizzy. My head was about to explode. My head was heavy and my feet were light. I knelt down on one knee. After a while, the pain disappeared. Just after that stabbing pain disappeared, on the contrary, let her mind, which was supported by mental strength, become relaxed and calm down. What's going on? After sweeping around, Yunwoo found that the white fog and mist in the space had disappeared completely, except for the tornado. But at this time, the mind clearly flashed a paragraph of text. The method of life, which was originally created by the ancestor of chaos, can regenerate 100 grasses and withered trees and regenerate them. Later, there is a paragraph that seems to be incomplete. However, after seeing this text, Cloud Dance's eyes still flashed. How to live? Is this the first ability after becoming the master of Chaos Temple? In the blood pool. Yunwoo, who has entered the final stage of bone formation, suddenly has a flash of light on his body, which directly shakes the dragon away. In Long Qingxia's surprised eyes, a purplish-red light suddenly came out from her body, and the dark cave was suddenly very bright. This also makes Long Qingxia clearly see that under her skin, green willows are constantly emerging, and a great vitality is surging from her body, as if she is about to be transformed into a tree. Little thing. The pupil of Dragon Qingxia shrinks, and his heart is a little surprised. Is it the branch in her body? Long Qingxia's eyes were cold, and his body moved. For the first time, he held her tightly with his long arm, and they were close to each other. At that moment, a dark light diffused from his heart. Gradually, the vitality in Yunwoo's body was swallowed by the dark light. The willows on her skin, shrouded in the light, instantly dried up, grew and withered. It's very strange. Long Qingxia's cold sweat was dripping, close to her skin, just like the sharp pain of being cut and torn like a knife. But at this time, in his eyes, it was all kinds of surprise and amazement. How could there be the power of life in her body? And his dark power, just repel each other. What the hell is going on? Is she the one who was predicted to be the biggest obstacle to him? Morning. When Yunwoo woke up from the cave rock, he found that he was still smooth, and he was very calm. However, the eyes swept around the cave, but the dragon's evil figure had disappeared. He's gone again. However, when she woke up, she felt that this time, her body was really revived, because she felt that there was a sense of vitality all over her body. He helped her. Yunwoo doesn't know how Long Qingxia feels. Sit up, when cover on her body slide, see the change of the body, Cloud Dance oneself can't help but some surprised. Very white and tender. The congealed snow muscle is like a newborn, especially when the corner of her eye sweeps her shoulder like a phoenix prophecy in the fire, her heart trembles inexplicably. Isn't that the place where she was burned by the fire of origin? She didn't pay much attention to it all the time. Now she can't help but be surprised. When did it become the brand of Phoenix prophecy? Cloud Dance sighed low head, murmured to say, can't help but hand to caress that shoulder. Hiss. However, as soon as the Cloud Dancer touched the shoulder, a sharp pain penetrated into the bone. It felt as if the high temperature was burning her flesh and blood. What's going on? Master. What are you playing with? In the Cloud Dance pain hiss, in the cave, suddenly sounded a curious concerned sound. See a fat safflower, got up from the ground, moved to Yunwu's side. Hongling. Hongling, when were you here? Last night, she wanted to find it, but later by the way, her last consciousness seems to stop in the Palace of Chaos. Chaos Palace. Yunwu didn't wait for Hongling to answer. After she put on her clothes, she sat up, her mind moved, and her consciousness swished into the sea of consciousness. Chaos Hall is really blooming with a holy light, and beside the gate of Chaos Hall is a powerful tall stone statue. Isn't that dignified stone statue the door god's beard before? She remembers that yesterday was still alive. How did it become a stone statue now? Big beard? Can't help but call but didn't get any movement. At the end of the Cloud Dance, it entered the Hall of Chaos. It was still an empty space, with dragons floating in the sky, very quiet. It seems that yesterday was not a dream. What about the black fog in her spiritual space? Mind move, consciousness immediately left from Chaos Hall, straight into her spiritual space. I can see that the sky above her spiritual space is really a dark fog of depression. At this time, fierce scarlet eyes suddenly flash out of the black fog, with an endless anger staring at the clouds. Crazy girl, you are also a witch. No wonder you can absorb most of my mental energy. You are so hateful. When I go out, I will be the first to eat you. It's spiritual power. However, what Cloud Dance doesn't understand is that she is a witch. What's special about her? What's more, why is her spiritual space locked up in such a dark fog? What is the definition of sorcery in the eyes of these strange things? Why is there so much anger at the mention of people in the witch clan? The red fire dragon, trapped in the forbidden area, felt the power of Bai Lao's witchcraft when he saw her for the first time, and wanted to destroy heaven and earth. This black fog thing, too, seemed to want to eat her immediately. Witches. Witches. She must find out what's going on, and what's the matter with her mother. Ignoring the angry black fog, Yunwu eased from the spiritual space, opened his eyes and looked at the little fat flower. Master, you smell so good. Good smell? Cloud Dance smell speech, can't help but pick eyebrows. Hongling, you're just a flower, not a dog, can smell what flavor. Master, I won't lie to you. Really, your smell is really good, like the feeling of eating well. Hongling petals smell, tender voice is very serious said. However, its words made the Cloud Dance blush for a while. This guy, you don't want to eat people, are you crazy? Yunwu reached out and knocked on its petals, but there was no good way. If you are hungry, you can find something to eat by yourself. In the future, you can't eat people without my consent. Hongling is huge and has a large appetite. If you don't tell it, you'll worry about it. One day, it's greedy. It'll be a big trouble if you go straight into the crowd and have a big appetite. I was full last night, not hungry. I mean really, master, you really smell good, fragrant, don't believe you smell. Hongling said, and the green branch lifted her hand to her nose. I'm afraid she won't believe it. The cloud danced and sniffed. There's no taste at all, but the skin is a little white and tender. However, not long after Hongling was born, she would not lie. Maybe, after her body resurrected, she really had some special smell. Maybe only she could smell it. Well, I believe you, but don't bite me when you are so greedy. Cloud Dance looks at it and warns. Hongling some guilty, petals shrink. After that, Hongling tried to eat every day full point. It really wants to bite her. This day, the head of the Su family led many people to the door early in the morning. Yunqi is practicing in his own courtyard. He doesn't pay much attention to the guard's notice, so he asks Wu Gang, who just came back from outside, to entertain him. But the host, Soon, was called to Ningyuan. "Mr. Su, please calm down. Here is our 9th Miss's residence. However, our 9th Miss is very weak." "She is not." Wu Gang's voice came from outside the yard. However, before he had finished his words, he was interrupted by an angry rough shout. "Get out of the way, otherwise, don't blame me for being rude to you." Inside. It has been 2 days since the resurrection of the body. In the past 2 days, Yunwu has only stayed in the house except preparing some medicine. After Bai Lao's seal fell asleep, she always tried to untie the seal in the necklace, but she found that no matter what means she used, the seal didn't move at all. There's no way. If you want to know something about the witches, you can only find it from some ancient books. Therefore, in the past 2 days, she has searched the historical records and ancient books of the whole continent, and there is little information about the witches. Later, she got some information about the witches from the Dragon Scroll. Although the information is not comprehensive, it is recorded that the sorcerer is a race that conforms to the destiny and has special ability and mission. That is to say, everyone in the witch clan has their own mission when they are born. And the people in the sorcery family, there are blood, divided into dark, light. They have different bloodlines, and they have different missions to carry out. But the Holy Emperor, the ruler of the witch clan, can only be born in the blood of light, because only the blood of light can drive and control the spiritual power between heaven and earth. Of course, because the information is not complete, what Cloud Dance knows is only a little bit of clips. However, it is enough to surprise Yunwu. It's just that the so-called mission, the so-called blood of darkness and light, can't be understood by Cloud Dance. "Mr. Su, our 9th Miss is resting. You can't rush in. Get out of the way." The door. There was a sound of footwork. Many people came to listen to it. "Master, someone is coming." Is nest in one side, the big flower of molar, suddenly erect tusks, very excited like Chaoyun Dance said. "It's just a few days old, and it hasn't been able to change its size. Therefore, Cloud Dance doesn't go out these 2 days. In addition to going out for food at night, it doesn't go out for 2 days, just to avoid being found." The cloud dances slowly from the meditation. When hearing the outside sound, the corner of the mouth raises slightly. "The people of the Su family are here at last." Cloud Dance slowly sketched a cold charm smile, turned his head toward the big red flower and said, "Hung Ling, go out from the back window and get someone in. Don't kill him. Hurry up." Hung Ling smells speech, that nature with hit a chicken blood-like, fat big figure, whoosh sound, immediately from the back window of the house. Bang! The closed door was pushed open by a force. I saw that a middle-aged man was very angry, and his eyes were burning around. Behind him, there were more than a dozen bodyguards and housekeeper Wu. "Cloud Dancer, come out for me." "Mr. Su, it's okay. Let's sit down and talk about it." Su Jin, dressed in anger, is a hot temper. When she learns that her beloved daughter has been killed in Yunfu, she comes from Mengqing in anger. She wants to get justice for her beloved daughter. Originally, he wanted to seek justice from the old master of the Cloud family. However, Yun Qi closed the door and no one was heard. After housekeeper Wu said a few words, Su Jin directly from the original waiting room, with people storming into the Ningyuan. That waste, even if he was humble, dared to lie that it was the dragon rudder, who killed her daughter and made him worry. If it wasn't for housekeeper Wu to remind him, he would have been fooled. When she thought about it, Su Jin became more and more angry. I didn't see anyone in the living room, so I walked towards the inner room. The closed door was kicked open. "Who?" A weak voice came from the bed, which was separated by the inner curtain. In the hazy, the intruders saw a man lying on the bed, like waking up from sleep, weak and slowly want to sit up from the bed. Standing at the door of the inner room, Su Jin heard the sound, and her angry eyes sank. "Go, drag people out of bed for me." Su Jin's bodyguard immediately stepped into the inner room and walked quickly towards the big bed of the curtain. Whoosh! A cold light passed in front of people's eyes. In a twinkling of an eye, the scene of flesh and blood being penetrated by a knife was staged in front of people's eyes. I saw that the bodyguard who just wanted to reach out and lift the curtain had no life, and his body fell straight back. This scene happened too fast. Even Su Jin hasn't reacted. Are you the master of the Su family? A low voice of neither male nor female suddenly sounded in the room. Then, I saw a short man in black jumping down from the beam of the house. The whole body is wrapped, except that pair of cold black eyes, what appearance also can't see, however, from his body, but feel a kind of, from countless corpses over of absolutely cold murderous gas. You are. Su Jin felt the inexplicable danger, looked tense, staring at the man who suddenly appeared in black. Wu Gang's eyes narrowed as soon as he saw the figure. Popular? Is he still in Yunfu? Before, the queen told her that she was bound to find Fengxing to see her. The people of Tianlong Rudder almost searched all over Yunfu, but they didn't find him. They thought he had left. For this reason, most of them were punished. Unexpectedly, he is still in Yunfu. Lao Tzu left that boy's life and asked him to take Su Jingmeng's body back. Didn't he tell you who I am? The voice sank. Su Jin Aleng, immediately, the fundus of an angry set off, you are the dragon rudder that day? You killed my daughter. I'm entrusted to be loyal to others. If it wasn't for Su Jing's dream of taking the life of that 9 girl, why would I want her life? The words of the man in black were clearly heard by all the people present. It turns out that Su Jingmeng wanted to kill Yunwu. Su Jin frowned. Su Jingmeng came to Yunfu just for the enrollment of Shenwang Samurai College in the Imperial City 2 months later. How could he come here for no reason to take the life of this waste? I don't believe it. Now that people are dead, whatever you say, why should I believe you? Su Jin met the eyes of the man in black and said angrily. Although he can't afford the Tianlong Rudder, some time ago, it happened that Tianlong Rudder secretly sent someone to woo him. I hope he, the Su family on the rich side, can secretly support Tianlong Rudder financially. Tianlong Rudder to find, Su Jin naturally interested in cooperation. But unexpectedly, a few days later, I heard his daughter was killed by the man in the dragon rudder. He didn't dare to look for trouble, so naturally he came to Yunfu to find the legendary waste. Don't you believe it? The eyes of the man in black were very cold. However, in the next second, a strange dark shadow flashed by and suddenly appeared. Su Jin's face changed with fright. For the first time, she quickly retreated. Her strength in the later stage of the 8th level suddenly raised her defense force. Poof! Blood, splashing out. Ah! There was a scream at the same time. I saw that the bodyguard who just stood beside Su Jin didn't have time to dodge and cut off his arm. In a flash, Su Jin touched the wound on her chest, which was cut by the sword Qi. Her face was very ugly. What a strong sword. If he didn't flash fast and have 8 levels of defense power to protect his body, the sword just cut him down, maybe it would split him in half. Is this man of Tianlong Rudder trying to kill him? On one side, Wu Gang's face changed slightly, but at this time, it was not convenient for him to say anything. How about the master of the Su family? Before the deep cold voice, completely sink down, need not, I really let you have a chance to ask your daughter to the palace of hell? Here, Su Jin clench a fist, the fundus of the eye is that exasperate, can still dare to have any action in. Listen to him, he didn't really hit the sword just now. So when he does, he's still alive. This time, he wants to settle accounts, not to die, to endure the anger in his heart. Well, you said that. It's only my daughter's fault that she provoked people who didn't dare to. I'll keep this in mind. As soon as the cold words fall, Su Jin turns around and leads people away. The man in black didn't stop him. Wu Gang looked at the popularity of black clothes, and a trace of anger flashed through his eyes. He said coldly in a low voice, "Sir, everything should be on the line. Your behavior has already made the master unhappy." Then he turned and left. "Master." Cloud black cloth under the corner of the mouth, slowly outlines a cold arc. She is waiting, is her unhappy? Night. Tonight, the moon is bright and the sky is full of stars, but it's killing. One after another, the shadows were all lurking around the Ningyuan, encircling the whole Ningyuan. "Come on, there are a lot of people." Ningyuan outside a corner, Cloud Dance pick eyebrow of looking at, that night, in the number of assassins to surround. Those assassins can hide the news, but they can't hide the murderous spirit from their bones. 1, 228, no, 29. Cloud Dance micro frowned, there is almost even she did not feel the existence. This shows that the person is definitely not simple. It seems that this popular face is really not small, a hand, is 29 assassins to come. "Master. Can I have dinner?" Hungry, a low voice, in the cloud around. See only, the bud of red rhombic flower merges, the state that a bud is ready to open, shrink in a corner, fear to be discovered. And on its body, there is a little red snake. Since the red snake came to Yunwu, it has been with Hongling, almost inseparable. Go ahead, remember, as I taught you, keep quiet. Cloud Dance slowly raised the corner of the mouth, the cold color of the eyes flashed, low voice. Hearing that the meal was ready, Hongling was excited, and the flowers were in bud. One of them opened, and his mouth was full of fangs. "Master, don't worry, I and the red snake will eat them all secretly." However, as soon as he finished speaking, he swished and rushed into the dark place. That is to say, he carefully and anxiously headed for the potential assassins. Whiz. It's like the wind. Under the dark night, the assassin, who was hidden in the tree, suddenly felt that he was bitten by something on his neck and turned his head. When he saw that there was a huge flower petal full of fangs behind him, his eyes suddenly filled with panic. "I want to open my mouth and scream, but I find that I'm paralyzed and can't even open my mouth. What's going on?" It was only when a little red snake slipped down his neck from the corner of his eye that the assassin realized that he had just had a pain in his neck and was bitten by the little red snake. These things, what lurks behind him? He's a 6th level late strength, but he didn't notice. Click. Tusk big mouth in that assassin startle stare big eyes, one mouthful to swallow him down. On the other side. Cloud Dance in such a dark night, light as floating water, hiding all the breath lurking away. When you look at the location of the assassins, you can see that these assassins are better than last time. And from the long sword in their hands, there was a dark light, which must have been smeared with poison. Also, this time, their target is not the rubbish, but the popularity of the former first killer of Tianlongdi. How can we not make more preparations? However, today's Cloud Dance is no longer the original Cloud Dance. The corner of the mouth outlines a sneer, and the Cloud Dance in black has lurked behind an assassin. Without letting the assassin find out, he buttoned his nose and mouth, and without giving the assassin a chance to hum, the dagger in his hand had already crossed his throat. Before the bloody smell spread, let go of the assassin, and the Cloud Dancing figure, like a ghost, lurks towards the next target. Brush. Silver flash, ghost figure turned away, leaving in addition to a corpse, only the faint smell of blood. And Hongling on both sides of the separation, latent kill, Cloud's silver light fall, are a dagger broken throat. The assassin who surrounded Ningyuan, before waiting for the action order, in the process of dormancy, unconsciously turned into a corpse. However, every assassin whose body pierced his throat had a look of horror and confusion in his eyes. Maybe, I don't know who killed them until I die. All of a sudden. In the night, the wind rose slightly, and the strong smell of blood filled the air. Yunwu, who was going to move on to the next target, frowned and lurked in silence. Suddenly, he rushed to the next target at a very fast speed. The daggers fall together. Before the assassin could smell the blood and react, he was solved immediately. However, the smell of blood still attracted the attention of other assassins. Something's wrong. With a sound, the remaining 9 assassins suddenly soared into the air and came to Yunwoo from the dark. When they saw the corpse on the ground, the 9 people's faces sank. In an instant, 9 people surrounded the cloud dance. Popular. We are all in the dragon's rudder. How can you be so cruel to your classmates? Hearing this, Yunwoo got up slowly, the dagger in his hand was still dripping blood, and the corner of his mouth was slightly raised. You want my life, why can't I do it? Even if they all come to the door, I'll leave my life behind. Both men and women have a low voice, extremely cold. The 9 assassins stepped back with their swords in their hands. You know, it's popular, but the first killer of the previous term of Tianlong Rudder. He's been in seclusion for decades, and no one knows how strong he is now. Otherwise, the helmsman would not send more than 20 senior assassins. However, there are only a few of them now, that is to say, other people have already suffered an accident. If they add up to 9, they can hardly be his opponents. Fengxing, you are the old master of Tianlong Rudder. If you are willing to go back to see the master with us, everything will be easy to discuss. Yes, as long as you come back with us, the master will not embarrass you in the past. These assassins, are they stupid? Or ignorance? One by one, the sword was smeared with poison and surrounded by lurking people. It was obvious that they wanted to take her life. What's more, since they have come, there is no reason for them to withdraw. Just, haven't waited for her hand, a shadow, take off from the void. Big assassin. Feel the breath from the void, cloud dance, the undercurrent of the eye flash. It turns out that the breath she hardly noticed just now is the strength of a big assassin. Also, the status of popular is that he is the first assassin of his predecessor. If he only sends some assassins of the 6th rank, even if there are many assassins, it is not enough to see. The assassin fell to the ground, and his dark eyes flashed over Yunwoo's body with a suspicion. You're popular. Cloud Dance converged his breath, cold glanced at him, did not answer. The assassin's eyes flashed cold, but, as if he thought of something, he gradually slowed down and said respectfully. Although I left Tianlong Rudder, I used to be one of its members. Now I am the 23rd member of Tianlong Rudder. The master ordered us to come here tonight and ask you to come back to see her anyway. Please don't embarrass us. 23. Cloud Dance smell speech, Meifeng micro pick, before, sent to Luoyang to kill her, claiming to be 1819. Is that their ranking in Tianlong Rudder? It seems that the number of masters in Tianlong Rudder can't be underestimated. Originally, Yunwoo didn't intend to let them go back, but after hearing this, Yunwoo changed her mind. She wants to see me so much, so I'll see her. Late at night, in a hidden palace. Master, 23 has brought people. The bright candlelight makes the whole palace space bright. The snow willow in gorgeous clothes, half lying on the soft couch of the master, half drooping eyes, has a trace of enchanting. Under the notification of a man in black, he said coldly, let him in. Yes, after a while. C-23, leading a thin black figure, came in from outside the hall. Master, fashion has come with it. When he came in, he knelt down respectfully towards Xuelyo. Snow Willow's eyes, cold cloud danced to the past. After Yunwoo stepped into the palace, he looked at the woman sitting on the soft couch. This is the queen of today. Although I heard that the queen had seen it many times when she was ill, for Yunwoo, this was her first meeting after she came to a strange world. She looks very beautiful and has a good temperament. But I don't know why, when I first saw her, Yunwoo thought she was familiar with her. Mingming met for the first time, but Yunwoo had this strange feeling. It seems that she has something to do with her. But she could not tell what the relationship was. You say you are popular? When Xuelyo saw the cloud dancing, her eyes suddenly narrowed. Obviously, as a master, she can see at first glance that Yunwoo is a fake, popular identity. Cloud dance is not urgent, meet her that narrow up dangerous eyes, neither male nor female voice light smile way, I can never say myself, I am popular. Snow Willow sat up from the soft couch, cold in her beautiful eyes. Why do you block the Tianlong rudder again and again? I thought I made it very clear that I would be in Yunfu. I was also entrusted by others. Queen, who do you think I would be? In the voice of a man and a woman, he fell down. That pair of black eyes, quietly staring at the Snow Willow. Entrusted by others? Is he entrusted to protect Yunwoo? Who? Is it? Snow Willow's eyes narrowed, black eyes of the eyes, suddenly a purple flash, in angry way. Who is it? Make it clear, otherwise, this palace will let you live or die today. Cloud Dance has been looking at her eyes change, when see that purple flash, eyes slightly squint. Really can change purple pupil. Cloud Dance quickly put away the strange state, kept the mysterious, voice sneered, I want to go, no one in the world can stop me, as for who I am, there is no need to tell the queen, I believe, the queen has guessed a lot. However, I would like to advise the queen, the so-called, this is the same route, why too anxious, you want to persecute her daughter again and again, do not feel conscience uneasy. At the moment when her purple pupil flashed, from her body, Yunwoo finally understood why she felt familiar with her. It's the breath. The smell of the same kind. The queen, who is also a member of the witch family, also has purple pupil. She believes that her blood is not simple. According to what she has done to her, I can roughly guess what relationship she has with her lost mother. However, as soon as Shuoyo heard her words, it was as if she had been stabbed to her painful feet by something. On her beautiful face, she suddenly became ferocious. Conscience? Haha, I didn't expect that you are just like that woman. You are full of benevolence, righteousness, and morality. However, it's a pity that people like that don't live long. Yes? Why did you imprison her in those years? Cloud Dance's sharp eyes, see into her black eyes. In this sentence, she's just detecting. She wants to know if what Yunlinger said is true. Captivity? Shuoyo frowned, and a little doubt flashed through her eyes. But then, dangerously, she squinted and turned to the clouds. Are you the man who took her away? The queen didn't seem to know that Wu Gang had imprisoned her mother. It seems that the housekeeper Wu would like to know how complicated it is. Cloud Dance flashed a deep and unpredictable, light smile, is not, I don't seem to need to answer you. However, before you leave, I'm warning you not to play tricks under my nose, otherwise, my means are enough to make you feel helpless. Having said that, Cloud Dance is like a man in the world, a proud hand, turns around and wants to leave. A black figure flashed, and suddenly resisted her way. The master didn't speak. No one can go. You think you can keep me? The cloud dances down the footstep, the eye bottom is cold. 23 took out the sword in his hand, and his whole body was murderous. Cloud Dance slants to head, Kenthis swept the Snow Willow on the eye main position, the assassin that you train, really quite loyal, however, it is a bit stupid. As soon as the words of Cloud Dance came down, a red shadow came from the window and subconsciously turned to be on guard. But at that moment, a silver light flashed away at the same time. The speed is extremely fast, like lightning. When the reaction comes, a dagger has penetrated the neck. 23 opened her eyes wide, looking at the popularity of the little red snake that gently stroked her wrist, and wanted to shout angrily. Can throat grunt, what sound can't come out, Fundus anger infinite amplification, dead staring at the clouds, slowly fell back. This first assassin used the heresy meanly. He's a big assassin. He doesn't even have a chance to react, so he's stabbed to death. This is absolutely humiliating and unwilling. Unfortunately, in the eyes of Yunwoo, her mean is very above board. A good killer, at any time, defense vigilance is the most basic. Those who dare to kill me in front of me, I want you to never come back. Snow Willow suddenly full of ferocious, cold anger, even purple pupil are flashing, a black flame in her palm jump up, want to kill her. Black flame. See here, Cloud dance, the eye ground a touch of streamer flash and pass. Empress, you have to take care of yourself. Maybe the next time I come here, this 23 will be your end. Under the fire of Snow Willow, Yunwoo's gloomy voice finished. Her figure disappeared in front of Shuelyo. Without any fluctuation, it's like disappearing out of thin air. ZZ. The flames fell to the ground, making a sound of corrosion and burning. Can you imagine that if the flame falls on people, it will be directly corroded and burned to ashes? Looking at the popular figure, unexpectedly disappeared out of thin air, Shuelyo pupil shrink, purple pupil cold abnormal squint up. Even she can't be so fast that she can disappear out of thin air. Who is that man? Master, that woman's smell is fragrant and delicious. After that, I'm hungry. Can I go and eat her? At night, one person and one flower are on their way back to Yunfu. When Hongling followed the assassins into the palace, she secretly followed behind, so she was hiding all the time. However, it seems to be very interested in cannibalism. In particular, the fragrance in its mouth is like drooling. Cloud dance at this time, still dressed in black, turned to look at it, joked, if you really want to eat, you have the ability, you go to eat her, I have no problem. Just now, when she hit her breath and dodged into the space, she felt that the queen's strength was so deep and terrible that she couldn't even feel what height she had reached. It was the first time that she met someone who felt that way when she came to this strange world. Maybe it's the ability of the witch people. She's just resurrected now, although she also has the power of witchcraft. However, she found that she had no way to start. She didn't know how to use it, so she was just groping. If you really want to take a shortcut, I'm afraid you can only find a way to see if there is any way to unseal Bai Lao from the holy things. Really? Well, I'll go back and eat her now. Hear Cloud dance so straightforward promise, Red Ling in excitement want to turn round to return to Imperial Palace. See this Cloud dance, immediately really feel some laughing and crying. This guy, who ate a lot of assassins tonight, still has the appetite to eat? You want to talk to the queen? I'm not afraid to be burnt into withered flowers by the black fire. However, without waiting for Yunwoo to stop her, Hongling really grinds her teeth excitedly, and then turns around quickly and goes back to the palace. The little red snake wrapped around Yunwoo's wrist also came forward with a whoosh. Hello, Hongling. The cloud dances to shout, originally want to catch up with, but the day is already fast bright, she now this dress, if be found, will cause unnecessary disturbance. Although Hongling is greedy, she has a good sense of crisis. Little red snake follows her. Although the queen is powerful, she seems to have been hiding her strength. It seems that she doesn't want to let the palace know. Hongling has gone, but there will be no danger. When it hits the dust, it will come back. After thinking about it, Yunwoo didn't go after her. She was ready to go back to the mansion and first went to find Wu Gang. However, Yunwoo didn't know. Just because of her joke, Hongling and Little Red Snake didn't come back for more than half a month. They lived in the Imperial Palace. The more they lost, the braver they were. Their spirit of never giving up was extremely strong. Therefore, in the near future, the whole palace will be in a panic. Of course, that's later. Near dawn, a dark shadow appeared in Wu Gang's room in the backyard. Wu Gang on the bed suddenly got up from the bed, took out his sword from the head of the bed, and narrowed his eyes warily. Popular. Seeing the thin figure in black, Wu Gang frowned. He can't be unaware of tonight's action. Just, did not expect, this popularity, unexpectedly still have no damage of appear in his room. Steward Wu was surprised. Did you see me? Don't worry. I've already met the queen. Cloud dance not male not female voice says, seemed to be very leisurely sat on the chair of one side. Wen Yen, Wu Gang. After seeing the queen, can he come back so safely? That is to say, he has already submitted to the queen. As soon as this thought flashed by, Wu Gang said with a faint smile, "It seems that the queen still attaches great importance to your ability. After that, please do more." However, before he had finished speaking, he was interrupted directly. "Needless to say, I'm not anyone's slave. As long as you don't hurt 9 girls, I'm not interested in arguing with you. However, when I went to see the queen this time, I found something about housekeeper Wu." At this point, the cloud dance words stopped, the face under the cover of black cloth raised, black eyes deep look at Wu Gang. In that line of sight, Wu Gang could not help frowning. "What's the matter? The queen doesn't seem to know that you and Lu Yuqing had imprisoned 9 girls and her mother. I mentioned it by accident." Her face changed, and she said a word, which made me very curious. Hearing the speech, Wu Gang's face sank instantly. "What's that?" Yunwu's voice was very casual. She said, "You have so many masters. Even she dares to hide it." Wu Gang stares at the cloud dance, dangerously narrowed his eyes. The bottom of his eyes is that gloomy. "Who are you? How do you know what happened in those days?" Cloud dances to pick eyebrow. "Haha, a smile way. I am what identity, even you're that Empress Lord's son, all have no qualification to inquire. Do you think, with you also can lattice? But if it's your boss who wants to know who I am, I'm interested." "Well, who do you think you are? My master is so easy to see." Wu Gang gave a cold hum. Cloud danced lightly a smile, from the chair behind, brush sleeve, "Is it? Even so, forget it, but bring him a word for me. That is to say, what he always wants is with me. If you want it, come to me personally." Having said that, black clothes flash, popular figure, immediately disappeared in place. Wu Gang wanted to chase, but just stepped out of the door. He couldn't feel any breath, there was no place to chase. Damn it! Back to Ningyuan. Some of the assassins' bodies outside the Ningyuan were not eaten by Hongling, and no one had to deal with them. They would be found tomorrow, which would cause some commotion. However, what Cloud Dance likes most now is the chaos. The more chaotic, the more clearly you can see the things and people hidden behind. The morning sun gradually rose, the smell of blood spread in the air, and the sound of insects in the grass gradually disappeared. Ningyuan, in a quiet silence. Cloud Dance on the bed, the original beautiful face, has been replaced by the pale and sick face that Cloud Dance should have, lying quietly on the bed, as if in deep sleep. However, her mind entered the Chaos Palace. The abundant aura inside, after she entered, washed her little by little, as if, also warmed her newly resurrected body little by little. But it seems to make her soul more integrated with her body. It's a wonderful feeling. But Chaos Palace, before, it was just empty space, at this time, but inexplicably more than a small lawn. And on the lawn, a very familiar little tree is growing there. Why do you look so familiar? Cloud slowly walked in the past, did not step on the lawn, but squatted outside the lawn, frowning at the small tree. In my mind, it's the rapid rotation. Suddenly, Yunwu's eyes widened slightly, and his eyes flashed a touch of surprise. Isn't that the little tree that she dug up from the Tin Snake Mountain cave in the northern Warcraft forest with 7 fruits of different colors? How can you be in this chaotic palace? She remembered that she put the little tree into the space bracelet. Why are you here? However, it seems that the original mini tree has grown up here. Dragon Tornado, do you know what's going on? Yunwu looked up and saw the tornado floating in the air. Of course, she also casually asked, did not expect it would answer. But as soon as her words came down, a passage of words crossed her mind. The first floor of Chaos Hall, Xingmen. In order to gather the aura between heaven and earth, it is necessary to collect the objects to expand the space of the main hall, so that the hall owner can absorb the aura, and get rid of it. That text, after flashing in my mind, disappeared without a trace. Can Cloud dance, but has been income in the bottom of my heart, can't help, the bottom of my heart flashed a touch of surprise. Respect the body. Is that to say, as long as we collect spirit-gathering objects and expand the space, we can reach the level of Wuzuan? Is that too bad? You know, behind the great warrior, there is the martial saint, and then there is Wuzuan. In this Zhou dynasty, there are only a few warriors, not to mention Wuzuan. However, just as Yunwu was still digesting the words, another piece of words flashed out of her mind. Kaiwangxian tree, it is a 7-element Yuanxian tree bred by gathering the aura of heaven and earth. It is the only one in the world, and its fruit takes 9,000 years to blossom and 9,000 years to bear. Kaiwangxian tree? Is this the only one in the world? Cloud Dance suddenly stared big eyes, straight at the small trees in the lawn. No, this little mulberry-like tree is actually a Qiyuan fairy tree. The 7 fruits she had eaten were, however, at the beginning, even Bai Lao didn't know what it was. It must be a good thing, but unexpectedly, it was a fairy tree. Is luck her mother? This can also let her get unintentionally. However, after a while, looking at the only green plant in the space, Yunwu suddenly didn't know whether to cry or laugh. Because, she suddenly felt that all the spirit-gathering objects in this chaos hall must be at the same level as the 7-source immortal tree. How many things in this world can be similar to the level of the 7-source immortal tree? Even if there is, I'm afraid it's rare. It's very difficult to expand the hall space and collect aura. Half a month later. Cloud Dance is still in the room to rest, rather outside the courtyard. It seems to send out a lot of movement. Heard someone shouting, dead, dead for most of the past half a month. Yunwu has been very busy, because there are many people who want her life. As for who sent them, I want to know with my toes. As for the fate of those who came, naturally none of them left alive. Cloud Dance is used to such high voices outside. Because of her famous illness, the dead could not be connected with her. However, after today's shouting, I saw Yunqi coming. You girl, as soon as I got out of the gate, I heard that something had happened outside Ningyuan in the past half a month. Are you okay? Yunwu got up from the bed with a lazy smile. What can I do for you? But aren't you shutting up, Grandpa? How did you get out of the customs? You girl really scared me to death. As soon as I got out of the gate, I heard the news. It said that more than half a month ago, the Su family brought people to Ningyuan, and there was the first assassin of Tianlongdi. In the past half a month, several assassins' bodies were often found outside Ningyuan. Can I still shut up safely? While Yunqi is saying this, her worried eyes have swept around Yunwu, as if to make sure she is not hurt. The Cloud Dance naturally feels, the eye ground quietly flashed a touch of warmth. The corner of his mouth raised a smile and raised his eyes to look at Yunqi. Grandfather doesn't have to worry. There are some things in my heart. However, grandfather has gone through the customs, so I don't have to work so hard. What? What do you want your grandfather to do for you? Yunqi's eyes flashed a touch of wisdom, and the thief looked at the Cloud Dance on the bed. Cloud Dance light smile, come down from the bed. I this period of time lie uncomfortable, want to go out for a while, but don't want to let people know too much. How long are you going out this time? 3 months ago, Yunqi was not surprised. However, it's not the way to pretend to be ill for a long time. What's more, several corpses have just been found in the mansion, which is bound to attract some people's attention. I'm tired of staying in bed. I want to go out in the daytime for a few hours. Yunwu is a well-known diseased seedling. It won't attract much attention if it can lie on the bed more often. But she can't pretend to be sick and keep herself in bed. So, if you can have a stand-in, it will be much more convenient in the future. How can Yunqi not understand when he hears about it? You're a girl. I don't know if your previous life owes you. Okay, wait. However, the city is not very peaceful recently. No matter what you do, you have to be careful. Cloud Chi does not forget to remind again of Sei. Yunwu was very patient and nodded. However, When Yunqi is ready to turn around and leave, he casually asks, "Grandfather, what's the matter in the city?" Yunqi turned to look at her, and then said, "Some time ago, Feng Huang slaughtered human beings at the northern border. It is said that a black-faced woman stole Feng Huang's eggs. Later, the woman injured a deputy general in the army and set fire to the barracks, which made the border city full of rain. 2 days ago, after receiving the news, the emperor ordered the whole country to arrest the black-faced woman with purple eyes. What's more, the queen is also sending someone to secretly search for a woman with purple eyes. Now in the imperial city, many people are surging." When Yunqi said this, her eyes were staring at Yunwu all the time. With his shrewdness, I'm afraid some of them have guessed about her, but it's just a guess. Smell speech, Cloud Dance is very indifferent, expressionless. Oh, he let out a cry. The Cloud Dances to pick eyebrow to greet Cloud Chi's eyes, seem very common. That's it. Seeing her words, Yunqi couldn't laugh or cry. This wench, really don't know how she thinks after all, these no matter have relation with her, this period of time, really shouldn't make any noise. When you go out, be careful and try to keep a low profile. Yunqi said. Don't worry. The Cloud dances and answers with a faint smile. Then you wait here. With that, Yunqi went out. After a while, a very ordinary-looking maid came in with breakfast. About a quarter of an hour later, that servant girl also withdraws from the room. After closing the door, the maid also walked toward the direction outside the house. In order to try to low-key, after Cloud dancing came out from the gate, it still kept the appearance of the ordinary servant girl. Towards the famous market in the imperial city. It is said that there is a market for everything in the imperial city. You can buy everything. Anyway, after she came out, she would look around. Maybe, if she was not careful, she would bump into something good, which is what she earned. In fact, there is another reason. It is said that there is an auction branch of Longa in this imperial city. It is said that there is also a headquarters of Longa. Since that day in the back mountain valley, the dragon has been gone. Maybe it's good to see the so-called Longa headquarters by the way. However, when I came to the famous everything market in the imperial city, Cloud Dance is a bit silly. It's even more mixed than the vegetable market, and it's also a mess of stalls, as well as the flow of people scurrying between stalls. A lively vegetable market. This is the famous everything market. Yunwu thought it was a large-scale, prosperous and orderly place, but now, I suddenly feel that the rumors are not credible, two-pit dad. Just when Yunwu is still in a state of some silly eyes, thinking about whether to enter the everything market, a middle-aged man with a pointed mouth approached her and asked her in a flattering way, "What do you want to buy, miss?" The villain can show you the way. Cloud Dance slowly lead a god, light see him when I ask away, so kind? Of course, you should give the villain some money for running errands, but compared with the time you save, it's not a big deal, is it? The middle-aged man, with a smile, shows his uneven yellow teeth. A gust of bad breath blows in, which makes Yunwu feel sick. It stinks. This is a middle-aged man, is it specially to turn people off? Cloud Dance frowns, brush hand quite cold way, need not. This tone, enough to make people retreat 3 feet. Miss, I. The middle-aged man came forward specially. Yunwu's face changed a little. It's really unbearable bad breath. I said no, go away. The middle-aged man's face froze, and then his face was a little ugly. You dare to be so crazy here, when you suffer losses. If you can't get off the stage, drop a cruel word and leave in ashes. For his words, Yunwu didn't bother to pay attention to him at all. He took a breath secretly, as if he just survived from his bad breath. However, if he really opened his mouth in front of her, I'm afraid Yunwu can't help knocking out his yellow teeth. Although she didn't want to be too conspicuous, the saint couldn't stand his stink. A moment. Sweeping his eyes, Yunwu took a deep breath and walked into the dirty everything market. Most of the roadside stalls are randomly paved with a rag, on which are all kinds of miscellaneous things. If you don't know what to do, you will be dizzy just to see those things that are not classified. After entering the market, Yunwoo found that some people came alone, while others were surrounded by a guide. Maybe these people are a small group where the middle-aged man is working. They pick up new guests and draw some errands or commissions. After walking for a while, I got nothing. Until, a slovenly old woman's stall attracted Yunwoo's attention. The people who set up the stalls here are all in a mess, but the stall owners are all clean and tidy, only the old woman, who stands out from the crowd. Yunwoo looks at the old woman's stall. No wonder she has few doors. The rags on the stalls are dirty. Even the things on the stalls are sticking to the soil, as if they had just been dug out of a cemetery. Just as Yunwoo looks at it casually and plans to leave, there is a sudden change in the Hall of Chaos, like an induction to something. Yunwoo originally attached great importance to the Chaos Hall, but now there is something strange in the Chaos Hall, and she immediately stopped. If you can make Chaos Temple feel something, there should be something good. Yunwoo looked around to find out what made Chaos Hall move. When her eyes passed the slovenly old woman's stall, there was an obvious vibration in Chaos Hall. It's the stuff from that stall. Cloud dance in front of a bright, but quickly convergence from strange, suppressed the bottom of my heart excited, pretending to look at the seemingly casual, walk slowly toward the old woman. The old woman was a little excited when she saw that a guest finally came forward. What can I do for you, miss? Yunwoo looked down at the booth, carefully sensing the reaction of Chaos Hall, and finally determined the target when he saw something the size of a thumb and covered with a layer of soil. However, Cloud Dance did not directly go to get that thing. Instead, it picked up a bracelet on the stall and seemed to be very interested in playing with it. The bracelet is the only clean thing in the booth. It has repeated patterns and many gems. It looks very valuable. How much is it? Seeing that Yunwoo picked up the bracelet, the old woman looked disappointed, but she still got up and vigorously promoted it. Miss, I have all these things from my ancestors. This bracelet has defensive ability and is a good thing to protect myself. Defensive capability? Yunwoo looked at the bracelet over and over again, which was a bit novel. She had heard that someone could make these things, but she had never seen them. You can tell me how much it is. I look pretty. It's good to buy it and play with it. The old woman smell speech, the vision subconsciously swept Cloud Dance body, coat one eye, common appearance, the dress of servant girl. Just like a maid, can she have money? However, after squatting for a month, this was the first guest to come to the door, and immediately corrected his attitude. Miss, you have a good eye. Just this number. The old woman stretched out a hand and made a 5. Cloud Dance pick eyebrow, 500. The old woman turned black. 5,000. Cloud Dance curled his lips and looked at the other things on the stall in a lack of interest. Then you have to send something more. With that, Yunwoo picked up a pair of earrings on the stall, and the strange thing that made Chaos Palace. That's all. When Yunwoo picked up the eardrop, the old woman didn't respond, but after she picked up the strip covered with soil, the old woman's face suddenly didn't look good. Miss, it's not expensive for me to sell these things. Otherwise, I'll give you this eardrop, okay? Yunwoo knew at a glance that the old woman also knew that it was precious, but she was also sure of it. I've given you all the earrings. I don't know what they are. Why can't they? Cloud Dance is not too dirty to throw that mysterious object up and down in the hand, it's really an improper performance. Miss, it seems that you are not really ignorant. Why bother me, an old man? Cloud Dance want to muddle through to pick up cheap is difficult, simply said, well, you make a price, I buy. The old woman was a little excited. She just wanted to speak, but she swallowed her words again, as if she had some scruples. Cloud Dance frowns away, the thing that you put out, still don't sell. If it wasn't for the fact that she had heard that there was an annoying law enforcement team in the everything market, she would have robbed it even if it was for the mysterious object that could make Chaos Hall react. 500,000, the bracelet will be given to the young lady. Cloud Dance's eyes a stare, in the heart a burst of commit mutter, 500,000, how not to rob money. Even if she has a lot of gold and silver jewelry in her space, even if it's 500,000, she can afford it, but she can't take it out of the space in public. What's more, the old woman was obviously asking her for a lot of money. Seeing this, the old lady said slowly, if you don't want to buy it, please buy a bracelet. Here's 4,000. The cloud dances to smell speech, the eye ground glimmers, immediately understand, this old woman doesn't want to sell that mysterious item to her at all. At this time, the middle-aged man who was driven away by Yunwu appeared behind her. See understand, entered all things market to still want to play horizontal, who dares to sell you real thing? Yunwu glanced at him and said coldly, it doesn't seem to concern you, does it? If it's nothing, get out of here. When the middle-aged man was angry, he rolled up his sleeve, pointed to Yunwu's nose and said, well, you smelly girl, you really don't know who I am. If I don't teach you a lesson today, I still need to be here. As soon as his voice fell, he waved his fist and wanted to give Yunwu a beating. Cloud Dance's face a cold, murderous just brush from the bottom of the eye. However, we haven't waited for the Cloud Dance to take action yet. A slightly thick voice came, who dares to make trouble in the market of everything? Immediately, C3 wear uniform black clothes to wait on, but some fat rascal gas man came from another street. At the sight of the three people, the passers-by immediately avoided them as if they saw the god of pestilence. When the middle-aged man saw the comer, he suddenly changed into a flattering face. He said, my lord, you're here just in time. It's the smelly girl. She wants to break the rules of our market. Hand pointing at the Cloud Dance. The fat man, who is the leader, looks up and down at Yunwu first, and seems to be determining her identity and value. But at this time Cloud Dance, a servant girl's coarse clothes, looks ordinary, in their eyes, no value, on the whole a soft persimmon. The leading fat tall man came forward, almost a head higher than Yunwu, and looked down at Yunwu haughtily, it's you who break the rules, isn't it? Cloud Dance listened to a cold smile in the heart. This is the law enforcement team of Everything Market. It's really wonderful that the law enforcement team should unite with these hooligans to kill the customers. No wonder this market will look like it now. I don't know whether I despise the owner of this market or sympathize with him. See Cloud Dance unexpectedly silent of, a little face don't give, that fat man some exasperation. Since you broke the rules, I'll teach you a lesson. Otherwise, you really don't know who owns this site. How dare you come here to be wild? The leading fat man said, and he was going to catch the Cloud Dance. Cloud Dance has long seen the strength of the other party. It's just a guy who is less than level 4. With her level in the middle of level 7, it doesn't take much effort to solve it. But at this time. Before the Cloud Dance started, a strange and strong breath suddenly came from somewhere. In the twinkling of an eye, the fat man who was the leader flew out directly. Brush past. Along the way, many stalls were smashed, which caused the owners around them to yell, and all those whose precious articles were smashed were scolded. Cloud Dance just along the direction of the breath looked in the past. I saw a strong and tall figure, standing on the roof not far away, a black dress swaying with the wind, with half of the ghost mask on his face. The mysterious and strange patterns are carved on the mask with platinum color, and several rubies are shining with brilliant light, which sets off the man more and more evil. This man, to Cloud Dance feeling is a word, cold. Whether it's the golden eyes under his mask, or the beautiful half of his face without expression, or the breath from his whole body. It makes people feel that he is cold as if he was carved out of ice in extremely cold places. Just standing face to face with him can make people feel the chill of deep heart. Long Shao. Dragon's evil. No matter what kind of identity, this man's two faces, each one is the best of people. When people around him saw him appear, they all knelt down. This scene surprised Yunwu. What's going on? How do you make that man look like an emperor? However, where does Yunwoo know that in the eyes of the people in the market of all things, this man is their emperor? And she did not seem to know that the strength and status of this evil man behind was amazing enough. Long Shao didn't look at the cloud dance, but coldly asked the people kneeling on the ground, "Since when can I let you change the rules of the market for everything?" The extremely cold voice was not big, but it was enough for people on their knees to hear it clearly, especially the law enforcement team and the middle-aged man. I saw that the law enforcement team and the middle-aged man who wanted to teach Yunwoo a lesson immediately turned pale. They dare to do so, just because Long Shao is a famous dragon. He can't appear once a year. Even if he does, he goes to the Dragon Pavilion and doesn't come to places like the Everything Market. Who knows that such a bad luck, unexpectedly will be Long Shao run into this kind of scene. People from outside don't know much about Long Shao, but they do. Long Shao, someone must die. Once he reaches his bottom line, even if today's events involve the whole Everything Market, this man will never have the idea of being compassionate. Distant still lying on the ground spitting blood, dying fat law enforcement team leader, is the best evidence. Long Shao, spare your life. The kids are just bullied by the law enforcement team. They don't dare not follow. I also paid a lot of protection fees to the market of all things. Middle-aged men respond quickly, self-help is the most important, others' life is a fart. However, he pretended to be clever and said the last sentence. I thought that maybe I could protect myself, but I didn't know that it would only become his life charm. You don't think the cost is enough, you'll still be short of money. Long Shao's voice line does not take a trace of emotion. With a wave of his hand, "Ka" sounds like the sound of bone fracture. The middle-aged man raised a parabola in the air and hit the fat law enforcement captain heavily. Cloud dance watching this scene, feel very cool, do not have to do it yourself, also happy. This kind of scum is also harmful to others. Long Shao deals with the man and turns his eyes to Yunwoo. Originally, the cold and hard facial lines softened down. When he was dancing to the clouds, the corners of his mouth were slightly outlined, and the familiar evil smile of the clouds appeared on his lips. He went to Yunwoo, leaned close to her ear, low and ambiguous asked, "Little thing, you look like this, I almost didn't recognize you, how, come to my sight, do you miss me?" In a word, it almost made Yunwoo want to spray him. He's in the middle of nowhere. She doesn't know it's his place. He never told her his identity as Dragon Little, let alone other things about him. Cloud dance white he one eye way, don't give me poor mouth, here seems not to be what Dragon Pavilion, auction house, how can you suddenly appear here? And you know she's here. Even if this place is his territory, it doesn't look like the place where he will appear in the untidy market. Long Qingxie raised the corner of her lips and gently brushed her ear. You forget that you have my blood in your body. As long as you are close to me, I can feel it. Smell speech of Cloud dance Aleng, however, suddenly feel the bottom of my heart some uncomfortable. What does it mean that she has his blood in her body? It's so ambiguous that people who don't know think she's with him. Long Qingxie looks at Zhengleng's Cloud dance, which means he doesn't know the evil spirit. However, in the twinkling of an eye, the extremely cold breath rose again, and glanced coldly at the two rogue law enforcement officers kneeling on the ground. Do it yourself. Don't wait for me to do it. Very cold words, but like ghosts from hell. The two members of the law enforcement team were paralyzed by the order, and there was no previous prestige. Long Shao. One of them shivered and wanted to plead. He really didn't want to die. Dragon Qing evil but don't see, a breath brushed, almost didn't give anyone to see clearly, directly threw him on a nearby flagpole. There was no time to wail, so the man was pierced by the flagpole and fell down. On the flagpole made of unknown metal, the man's blood slowly flowed down the top. The rest of them were so scared when they saw the man's miserable death that they could not think of anything else. They got up from the ground and tried to run for their lives. But obviously, no one has been able to escape from the Dragon Little under the eyelid. A bamboo stick picked up in one's hand passed through a shadow light brush. People didn't see clearly what was going on. The man who had just been rolling and crawling was stiff in the same place. The next second, with a poof sound and a mouthful of blood, his whole body fell to the ground. I saw that the bamboo stick just passed through the atrium, dyed with blood red, was inserted on the ground not far from the corpse. It was extremely bloody and creepy. Thick blood flow all over the ground, the air began to diffuse a disgusting smell of blood. All around, silent, almost, even the lowest pressure of breathing sound, afraid of one careless, the next will be on their own. Cloud Dance is a killer. It's used to living among the dead. What's more, it's just the scum in front of us. However, he still turned his head and swept the man with his bloodthirsty golden eyes. These are all your subordinates. You can kill them if you say so. Long Qingxie's white jade-carved index finger reminds the cloud of a wisp of black hair and lowers his head to smell it. It is clear that there is no action of intimate contact, but it makes Yunwu feel inexplicably ambiguous and embarrassed. This man, even if put on a mask, change of face, but still nature does not change. Cloud Dance frowns of ground push away him, low voice cold way, you don't want face, I also want. However, the more Cloud Dance wants to distance itself from her, the more Dragon's evil will turn against her. With the extension of her long arm, the tall body will hang on her in public, and the thin lips will fit her small ear, like whispering and kissing. Little thing, you don't know how to be shameless for your husband. Why are you so shy every time? Cloud Dance hears speech, a burst of stuffy, really some hate can't find a sword to cut off his 2 arms. But now she is not as powerful as him. She can't compete at all. She can only let him hug her in broad daylight. In fact, even if she is really strong enough to fight with him, I'm afraid that this man's thick skin will take advantage of her before she stops. Now. All things square is silent. I don't know how many stall owners and guests are watching this scene in shock. Long Xiao. Is this the legendary Dragon Little? Has Long Xiao been so intimate with a woman? Who is that ordinary woman who is not outstanding? No wonder the law enforcement team died so miserably, only because they provoked people who should not be provoked. At this time, Long Qingxie raised his eyes and gave a cold glance to the onlookers. Those bright or dark eyes immediately left. Well, what's good here? I'll take you to a more interesting place. Don't hold me. Let go. Long, are you deaf? I have something else to do. Yunwu, who was dragged along by Long Qingxie, was a little annoyed. He just kicked his leg. It seems that this foot is not painful to Long Qingxie. On the contrary, other people on the scene are all scared as if they had seen a ghost. The last one who dared to kick the Dragon Little, now the grass at the head of the grave is higher than the man, right? This woman relies on Long Xiao to favor, unexpectedly is so lawless. To everyone's surprise, Long Qingxie was kicked. Instead of being angry, he could see the half-handsome face not covered by the mask with a deeper smile. Little thing, hit his pro scold is love, you this is to me and pro love, so all together to greet me? Cloud Dance is about to let the dragon pour evil that cheap mouth, to the gas back to go, have seen shameless, but really never seen such shameless. I haven't bought what I'm going to buy. What are you doing? What is there that you have to buy here? Long Qingxie didn't take the market of all things seriously. To put it bluntly, this is just the tip of one of his industries. Many of them are those who can't enter the Dragon Pavilion. After elimination, they gather to do small businesses. It's just a group of ants. Cloud Dance grabs the air and looks back. Then she sees that the slovenly old woman is packing up and wants to sneak away. She shouts. Don't go, you stop. The old woman trembled with fright, and the rags and baggage in her hand went away, and all kinds of dirty things clattered all over the ground. Long Qingxie saw what fell on the ground, and his eyes narrowed slightly. He walked over with Cloud Dance and asked coldly, "It's dug out from below." The old woman's legs softened and fell to her knees with a puff. She kowtowed to the dragon and cried. She told the truth about the origin of these things. Long Xiao, these were dug up by my man. He said they were good things in the graveyard. I sold them here for a month. This young lady is the first one to come and ask about business. I didn't know that this young lady was yours. Long Shao, please spare your life. All these things have been given to the young lady. With that, the old woman began to slap herself, one slap harder than the other. After a few times, the chapped skin on her cheeks had swollen up, and she looked even more miserable. Yunwu frowned slightly. To tell you the truth, the old woman didn't seem guilty either. At least, there's nothing wrong with her. Cloud Dance look at the side of evil smile looking at their own dragon Qing evil, how can not understand the man's mind. Nevertheless, poor also, or open mouth, okay, stop. The old woman seized it for a while, but she slapped herself twice. However, seeing that Long Qingxie didn't mean to kill Yunwu after she opened her mouth, the old woman quickly said to Yunwu, "Thank you, miss. Spare your life, thank you." If it were not for this woman, Long Shao would not be so easy to talk. Now, Long Qingxie glanced at the dirty things in that place. Although he didn't see anything special about those things, it should be what she wanted to make this little thing so nervous. "What do you want?" Yunwu ignored him and squatted down in the mess. Anyway, he soon found the mysterious object, which happened to be with the bracelet. So, I took it in my hand. It seemed that I put it in my pocket. In fact, I put it into the space first. I plan to go back later and see what caused the chaos hall to move. Cloud Dance clapped his hands, stood up and said to the dragon, "What I want has been taken. You give me money first." Long Qingxie couldn't help laughing when he heard the words, and a smile flashed across his eyes. Little things, with progress, have learned to take the initiative to spend my money. Don't you treat yourself as an outsider? Cloud Dance threw him a white eye. "I mean, you pay for me first, I'll pay you back later. She has a lot of gold and silver jewelry in her space, but it's not convenient to take it out now, and she doesn't have much cash on her body. So, I want to ask this man to cushion first, and then pay him back later." But this cheap man likes to take advantage of her verbally. However, when the old woman heard that Yunwu was arguing with Long Qingxie about whether to give money, she was so scared that she began to kowtow again. "Since Miss likes it, just take it away. It's my blessing. No money, no money. I'm kidding. Who dares to take Long Shao's money? It's a long life. No money." Yunwu thought she had heard wrong. At this time, Long Qingxie only said coldly, "Roll, don't let me see you later." Yes, I will never let Long Shao get in the way in the future. The old woman didn't clean up her things, so she got up and ran to the exit of Everything Market, like running for her life. Cloud Dance see this, the corner of the mouth can't help but some twitch way, this is in their own territory to rob. Dragon Qing evil smell words, but evil hook lips a smile. "Rob? You go and ask, did anyone say I was robbing?" The dragon tilted his heresy and looked around at the other people present. All of them shook their heads and said the same thing. "We are willing to give things to Long Shao. Yes, it's our blessing." Cloud Dance smell speech, can't help but sweep an eye, that all-around kneeling of stall owner, suddenly all have some shame. This man is almost the emperor of these people. No one dares to disobey, no one dares to offend him. It's like he's in charge of life and death for all of them. Looking at these, Yunwu was silent. If, one day, she can also have her own side of the power, perhaps by then, all the problems can be solved. At that time, why did she have to be so secretive that she didn't even have the ability to resist? "What do you think? Little thing, would you like me to take you to the Dragon Pavilion?" Just as the Cloud Dance was meditating, the dragon asked in a low voice. "Dragon Pavilion?" Yunwu originally intended to see the Dragon Pavilion. "Lead the way." Cloud Dance opens its mouth. Although she has contacted this man several times, she really doesn't know anything about him. On the handsome face under the mask of Dragon Qing Xia, the corners of his mouth slowly rose, and he was so charming and enchanting with a smile. "You little thing, you still ordered me to come for my husband." I saw his voice just fell, and before Yunwu could react, he stretched out his long arm, pulled her, and let her fall into his arms. Yunwu frowned and looked up at him. "Let go, what shame. Be good." The evil voice of the dragon is deep. "Let go. If you don't let go, don't blame me for being impolite." Cloud Dance's eyes are slightly sharp, and a silver needle has appeared between his fingers. In fact, she knew that with her current strength, she could not hurt him at all. "Really angry? You're a little thing. You're not big, but you have a big temper. Okay, I'll leave you alone. Don't be so angry. Look at yourself. You'll shake off the powder on your face." The man helplessly softened his voice. But it held her hand, but it didn't mean to let go. Cloud Dance squints, whisks the hand to attack toward the back of his hand. However, Long Qingxia's reaction is very fast. Before the Cloud Dance hands pass by, he has put her hands behind him and hugged her face to face. "Little thing, do you have to tie up your little hands every time so that you can be more peaceful?" Language falls, he suddenly lowers a head, in her forehead bow a good big voice. Cloud Dance alone, wait for reaction to come over, face a red, heartbeat fast half beat. But she quickly covered it up and said, "Dragon, believe it or not, I'll sew your mouth up." Damn it, she is the top killer, but she has been taken advantage of by him every time. She has no face. And now, in full view of the public, she is not as shameless as he is. Sooner or later, it's my man. What's the harm? Long Qingxia laughs. But the next moment, as soon as the words changed, the man's voice suddenly sank down. "As for these people, they will see it as if they did not see it. If they dare to chew the tongue, I will make them regret living in this world." At this moment, the people who were still secretly aiming around suddenly lowered their heads, shivered in a cold sweat, and almost didn't bury their heads in the soil. Long Xiao's business, who dares to chew the tongue? You know, no one in the Three Kingdoms knows that Long Xiao is the incarnation of the devil in the legend. He is the richest and most powerful in the Three Kingdoms. The clouds frown. This man, if it's really cloudy and sunny, changes his face in a twinkling of an eye. The big hand that hugged her waist was like iron prison. She struggled and the wind didn't move. Cloud Dance in the heart can't help a burst of stuffy. "Let go first." Looking at her, Long Qingxia's eyes flashed a smile, released her confinement, raised his hand, and touched her head like a pet. "What are you doing?" Yunwu pats his hand open, and when she wants to coax her, she touches her head. Dragon Qing Evil deeply a smile, however, also didn't say what. Rather overbearing, she took her hand and walked to the other side of the street. "You let go, I'll go with you." The Cloud dances, frowns and whispers. "What? Are you really shy?" Long Qingxia looks at her and laughs. "Think what you like." He wanted to take his hand back from his big hand, but the man held it more tightly. All of a sudden, Yunwu only felt that he was pulled by a strong force, a flower in front of his eyes, a body hanging in the air, and the whole person was picked up by him. "You said that." After picking up the woman, Long Qingxia smiles wildly. Without waiting for her reaction, he walks around several streets and towards the most luxurious high-rise building in the city. Dragon Pavilion. Built in the most prosperous area in the south of the imperial city, 5 stories high, every brick and tile is decorated with the most luxury. In contrast, maybe even the imperial palace is not so luxurious. In the eyes of the royal family, if they dare to build such arrogant and luxurious buildings, I'm afraid the Dragon Pavilion is the only one in the whole Zhou dynasty. As we all know, the name of Longa spread all over the business circles of the Zhou dynasty. As long as the business is involved, there will be the footprints of Longa. It can be said that the business is all over the world. However, the leader of the Dragon Pavilion seldom appears in public. Even if he appears, he has a ghost mask on his face, which is extremely mysterious. The world only knows his name, Long Xiao. When Long Qingxie appeared in the dragon pavilion with a woman in her arms, many people were surprised. Of course, those are all inside Longa. Long Xiao, you are back. Ruolin has come back and is waiting for you. An old man came forward and looked respectfully but curiously at the woman in the arms of Yan Long Qingxie. Long Qingxie glanced at the old man and said, "Well, let her wait and come directly to the attic." With that, when he was about to walk towards the attic, he suddenly thought of something and stopped. "Mr. Lin, let someone send a suit of women's clothes first, white one." Then it disappeared into the corridor. The attic. It's the top floor of the dragon pavilion. It's also the private area of the dragon's house. The structure of the home room is also luxurious. In the room, the woman in his arms is put on the bed and he sits down with him. Looking at the woman's angry eyes, Long Qingxie was in a strange mood. "Smile, evil spirit on one's face, it is you that say to let me want how? Want to go back?" Said, that slender good-looking fingertips, gently toward her chest skirt brush, down, came to the belt. "If you don't speak, I'll take it as your consent." Yunwu's face is gloomy, and he stares at the men around him. He hates his teeth. This damned man, actually insidious when she is unprepared, she points her acupoints. Now she can't move or speak. Can she speak now? "Little thing, do you know what I like to see most is that you are so eager to tear me apart that I can't help it every time blood is boiling." As he spoke in a soft voice, his fingertips gently picked and the tether of his belt loosened. With a flick, the belt was untied and the clothes came loose. The clothes are about to be stripped off, cluck. At the door, there was a knock. "Master, it's me." A soft and beautiful female voice. Dragon Qing evil eyebrow, I see you, gold mouth flashed a touch of warm anger, cold light. Hand a stretch of pull over the quilt, the woman covered tightly, just cold mouth, come in. The door opened, a light red dress, beautiful and enchanting figure, slowly came in. This woman is not others, it is that day in Los Angeles Longa auction branch, the female auctioneer, Ruolin. In her hand, she was holding a white dress. "Master, this is what Mr. Lin asked me to bring together," the woman said softly. In the dark, her cold eyes have swept toward the bed quietly. When you see a cloud dance with ordinary appearance, lying on the bed, your eyes are slightly cold. I think I just heard the news. Cloud dance can't move, but when the cold sight sweeps, it is still clear that there is a touch of hostility hidden. Put it down and go out. Long Qingxie glanced at her and only said a faint word. Ruolin converged her eyes, raised her eyes, and looked at the handsome and evil dragon with admiration. "Master, if you see that girl's face is not very good, let Ruolin serve that girl." Before he finished, he was interrupted by the cold sight. "Get out." Extremely cold, 2 words, but enough to make her whole body blood coagulation. Ruolin understood that she angered him. Because he never allowed anyone to disobey his orders. "It's the master. Ruolin will go down and wait for you in the side hall. There's an important report." Ruolin had already gathered up her strange emotion, and then she put her clothes on the table and left the room immediately. She has been with him for 10 years, and she is very clear about his temper. Smart, she always knows how to restrain her advance and retreat. Otherwise, she can't be his right hand and stay with him for 10 years. The door closed again. The man brushed his hand and inhaled, and the clothes on the table flew to his hand. "Little thing, I have to do something for my husband first. After you change your clothes, just stay here for a while and take you to a place later." The dragon leans evil spirit to smile away, which still has just of chilly. Yunwu looks at the speed of the man's face changing, and comes to another conclusion: this man is absolutely insidious and cunning. Even if he is a murderer, he still says that he is a good person with a smile. Language falls, Long Qing evil toward her chest heel shoulder side position point for a while, untied acupoint. The next second, a palm wind hit his handsome face. Suddenly, the palm was cut off in mid-air, and the big palm grasped her wrist. Yunwu wants to draw back her hand, but Long Qingxie has great strength. The more she struggles, the tighter he holds it. You let go. The cloud danced on him. Long Qingxie raised his mouth and said, let go, let me slap you. You little wild cat, you can't be tamed. Do you really want me to peel you and eat you in advance so that I can be more comfortable? If you want me to surrender, it's your destination, I tell you, it's never possible, or you'll kill me now, or one day, I'll step on you and let you taste all kinds of humiliation. Even if you can't beat him, you'll beat him to death. Smell speech, Long Qing evil but haha laughs. Little thing, what's on your mind? Who says I want you to surrender to me? Don't you know that what I want is always your heart? Her heart. In her previous life, she was betrayed by the most loved and trusted people at the same time. Her heart has already been broken. How can she still have a heart in this life? Even though, when I was in the Northern Warcraft forest, I did feel a little moved to protect him for his life. After all, I was once bitten by a snake for 10 years and I was afraid of grass rope. Yunwu glanced at him coldly and said coldly, don't waste your efforts. My heart has already been lost to feed the wild dog. However, Long Qingxie's slender index finger was deep in her mouth, which tempts Xie to smile. It's not right. It's empty. My husband can just stay in your empty heart, become your heart, and become one with you. You can say those words. Are you disgusting? The cloud dances and frowns. Baby, in order to get your heart, I can be more disgusting, do you want to try? The dragon leans evil and plays cunning. The cloud dance is very angry. This man is more cunning and cheap than the fox. I really want to smash his beautiful smile with a fist. Just when the cloud dance was stuffy, she suddenly felt that her eyes were dazzled. She had been pulled into his arms, and her eyes were enchanting. The sight bumps into that enchanting and charming eye, the heart suddenly pours some disorderly. I don't know if he used Dementor on her. I can't move my eyes. Cloud dance feel throat is stuck, Leng is can't say a word. Half ring, heart alarm age ring, she just recovered. But the dragon has bent down, the hot breath brushed her sensitive earlobe, the evil eyes, with a trace of hegemonic evil. You. The cloud dances in a panic. Words just export, red lips by that hot thin lips attack, aggressive, unstoppable. Oh. Red lips were seized, soft and hot overbearing, cloud dance want to sober eyes, but meet the man that pair of evil black eyes. Gradually feel a blank mind, dizzy up. His kiss is strong and overbearing, and his attack is like a bolt from the blue, attacking the city and territory in her mouth. Yunwu resisted, but he couldn't push it away. On the contrary, he was imprisoned like iron and hurt her. The overwhelming kiss of fanaticism, overbearing, strong, yet gentle. For a moment, she lost herself and indulged in his strong and domineering gentle country. It was not until he was so forgetful that he almost started the fire out of control that the man was willing to let go of the sweet. Yunwu gasps, his eyes are intoxicated, and his coat is half taken off. However, 3 seconds later. The cloud danced slowly, and a fierce anger flashed at the bottom of my eyes. Pa la. Crisp gravity slap, left in the man's handsome face. This action is almost subconscious. Long Qingxie's slender fingertips gently brushed her slapped cheek, and the black eyes of the evil spirits were cold and bloodthirsty. Make cloud dance inexplicably frightened. But the next second, he reached out and rubbed her head. His tone was rather spoiled and he said, now you're not angry. It means that he is willing to be slapped by her just to make her calm down. His behavior, it seems, is to bite her hard, and then give a sweet date to coax her. If he can be cruel to her in the end, then, even if she kowtows her head, she will let him off a piece of skin. But now his behavior makes Yunwu angry, but he has nothing to do with it. If you're not angry, just be nice and wait for me to come back. The man's hot eyes swept her red lips, and then he didn't stay in the room, worried that he couldn't help it. Cloud Dance watched the man leave the closed door, clenched his fists. When he comes back. This man really regards himself as an emperor. Cloud Dance ignored the bottom of the heart that wiped strange feeling, neat out of bed, frowning glance at the head of the bed that set of white dress. To be honest, Yunwoo doesn't like to wear white clothes. However, just also don't know that man after all is intentional. The dress of the servant girl that she wears now gave Tira sun. This is for her to change if she doesn't want to. The dragon pavilion has 5 floors, and the top floor is the private place for the dragon to pour out evil spirits. On the 4th floor, some internal members are in charge of the high-rise area. The 3rd level is the information gathering area from all over the country. The 2nd floor is the business information area. The 1st floor is a collection of tourists. Each layer is an orderly division of labor, and different regions are in charge of different passenger flow information and administration. With the modern business group, if you put this man in modern times, he is absolutely the top person in the business world. However, now he seems to have been. Leaving from the attic, Yunwoo turns around the dragon pavilion from top to bottom. Although he doesn't show it, he can't help looking at the man a little differently. Because it's the woman Long Xiao brought back, so no one stopped Yunwoo from walking. After a circle of Cloud Dance, in the bustle of people on the 1st floor, he was ready to leave outside the dragon pavilion. Miss, please stay. Long Xiao orders that Miss can only walk within the scope of the dragon pavilion. Before he reached the door, he was blocked by 2 high guards in black uniform who came out of nowhere. Cloud Dance eyebrow a see you, sweep to that obstruct 2 men of her way. They are both in their early 30s, expressionless, steady and restrained. They are well-trained practitioners. There is a cold pride between their eyebrows. The 6th stage. The bodyguards guarding the gate are all 6th level strength. It seems that the people who can be in the dragon pavilion are not vulgar. However, after a tour in Longa, Yunwoo has no interest in staying. If I have something else to do, I won't stay. Cloud Dance said, tiptoe a turn, around there continue to walk toward the door. Miss, please come back. Don't embarrass us and yourself. The tall bodyguard, with a flash of body shape, suddenly stood in front of Yunwoo and said in a cold voice. Embarrassing yourself? Is he threatening her? Get out of the way. Miss, please come back, or we won't be offended. Another guard, with a low voice, said coldly. The cloud danced, and there was a cold flash in his eyes. With a flash of silver light, his feet moved, his body was as fast as electricity, the cold light approached, and a cold dagger cut the skin of the tall guard's neck. The next second, the dagger with the smell of blood was on the other side of the guard's neck. Since this is the man's territory, why does she have to hide all the time? What's more, she didn't really kill her. Otherwise, there were 2 corpses lying on the ground. The scene of Cloud Dance is almost completed at one go. When all the people on the scene reacted, they all stopped their work and looked at Yunwoo with surprise. How can it be so fast? In other people's eyes, although Cloud Dance is wearing an expensive white gauze skirt, it can look ordinary, and it can't feel any fluctuation of fighting spirit. In this case, most people think that, in terms of her age, she should be just a woman with very low strength. But now, the situation has greatly broken people's glasses. In the eyes of the 2 guards, at this time, there was also a flash of shock and surprise. Although they had no defense against her, they were the 6th Order late warriors, but they were subdued in such a breath. How could it be? But the fact is in front of them. Don't think you have some ability to grow your eyes on your head. Your life is not as valuable as you think. It's easy to kill you. Cold voice, seemingly casual like soft voice said. However, it can be heard clearly by all the people present. The 2 bodyguards, with red and blue faces, were angry, unwilling and shameful. Her words clearly humiliated them. But they can't refute it, because what she said is the truth. If she wants to kill them, they will die just now. It's not that they are too weak, but that if she really kills them, she will never give them any chance to react. One shot. What's more, they haven't felt her strength up to now. What if you are angry and unwilling? What if you feel shame? Who told them to underestimate the enemy from the beginning? They are willing to accept this shame. However, at this time, Pa. A round of applause came. All the people on the scene followed the sudden movement. I saw that dragon Xiao with half mask appeared. At this time, he was walking slowly towards Yunwu. As soon as they saw the visitor, they bowed slightly and called respectfully, "Dragon Little." And those two bodyguards, who had bowed their heads and bowed down, also called respectfully, "Little Dragon." Long Qingxie coldly glanced at the two bodyguards. His breath was very cold. "Go down and get yourself punished." Two bodyguards heard, "Where dare to have a little disobedience, yes." Immediately, two people quickly backed down. Other people, however, did not dare to watch and listen more, so they were busy. At this time, the corner of his mouth was slightly raised, and he asked in a low voice in the cloud dance ear, "How are you? Are you satisfied?" "That's your man." "I can't be satisfied with anything." "Who said it wasn't yours?" "Little thing, you remember, mine is yours. Now tell me, are you satisfied?" Yunwu used to listen to the dragon's evil words as a joke, but she couldn't say anything sarcastic when she looked at the pair of serious golden eyes. When looking at Dragon Qingxie, Yunwu seems to really feel that if she wants to, even the stars and the moon in the sky will pick them for her. Maybe it's her illusion. However, what Long Qingxie has done for her these days just happened to come to mind at this time. Xiangbao, who broke into the forbidden area, Xianghu in the northern Warcraft forest, and Red Fire Dragon once said that in order to get dragon's blood, Dragon Qingxie was beaten with blood all over his body. He didn't know how many bones were broken. In fact, Yunwu is not afraid of dragon's evil. After what she has done, she comes to ask her for credit. What Yunwu is afraid of is what the dragon has done, but doesn't tell her. On the contrary, it will make her feel as if she owes him a lot. Sometimes, when she hears the nonsense of Long Qingxie, she will feel confused. "What's the matter? Are you too moved to speak?" Long Qingxie raised her hand and scraped the pink neck under the cloud-dancing earlobe. Although her face was easy to look at now, her skin became excellent after her death and rebirth. He couldn't put it down. Cloud dance suddenly returns to mind, Pa ground beats the hand that Dragon Qing evil touches disorderly. She didn't say, "Don't use your hands or you'll be in a hurry." The dragon poured out the evil as if it were false and true. "Little thing, don't you think you are too heartless sometimes? How sad I am clearly is a big man, say this kind of coquetry like greasy words, should make people feel sick. But this dragon has the ability to pour out evil, which makes people not disgust, but really have a kind of, as if she really did too heartless, really hurt him in general, let Cloud Dance have some impulse, want to reflect on themselves." Of course, this idea in Yunwu's mind just flashed by, and was immediately suppressed by her. "Come on, don't talk. Come on, what are you going to do? If nothing happens, I'll go back." Long Qingxie chuckles, grabs her hand, ignores her reaction, and takes her to the corridor of the cabinet. It turns out that the Dragon Pavilion is not just a high-rise building. The more you go inside, you will find that it is connected with other pavilions. When you come to the center of the Dragon Pavilion, it is a spacious place surrounded by 4 buildings. Long Qingxie pointed to the place where the center of the field was sunken and opened his mouth to Yunwu. "That's for my husband. It's for you. Do you like it?" Cloud Dance looks past along the hand of Dragon Qing evil, just see, there don't know when, many a silver-long sword. The body of the sword was long and thin. It was obviously made specially for women's sake. Under the light, there were dark lines winding, which vaguely showed an extraordinary momentum. But for some reason, Yunwu suddenly felt a lump in her throat. Think about it, she came to this strange world so long, in addition to Dragon Xia, who is so bothered to her. But, Cloud Dance mouth is still mouth hard way, do you know I want to cut you, so specially help me build a good weapon? If you are willing to murder your husband, he who is your husband will please you and cut it off. Long Qingxia's face returned to the usual evil smile, and his voice was low. Cloud Dance but couldn't help looking at him, Dragon Qing evil this man, absolutely enough to let the world women for it. But this man is also too deep, a little too difficult to see through, do not understand, what is in his mind in the end, unpredictable, so that she has a sense of crisis. Cloud Dance's vision turns to that fine sword from Dragon Xie. In the Dragon Pavilion, the light is hanging high, and the sword is shining brightly. It is more and more shining, and the cold light is shining. Maybe Long Qingxia had planned to bring her here. As soon as he saw them enter the door, the guests who came in and out around were evacuated by the staff in an extremely orderly way. With the name of Long Xiao, the backstage guests dare not make a fuss. Long Qingxia, what do you want? Seriously, she doesn't understand Cloud Dance. As far as she is concerned, Dragon Xia is a sticky human spirit that suddenly emerges and can't be driven away for no reason. As soon as they appear, they will take advantage of her all day and despise her. When something really happened, it seemed that he could always show up in time and make so many assumptions and sacrifices for her. Even if Long Qingxia really loves her, why? However, Cloud Dance can't understand that no one in the world has ever seen the complete dragon's evil spirit, and no one can let the dragon's evil spirit show everything in front of him. She's the only one. Between her and Long Qingxia, where is a simple light can explain clearly. For the problem of Cloud Dance, Long Qingxia just smiles all the way, ambiguous and confusing. Little thing, you can only represent one thing. Long Qingxia lowered his body, close to the Cloud Dance and announced, you are interested in me, aren't you? Yunwu is very excited. His skin is scorched by the dragon's evil breath, as if he had been scalded by a red cigarette end. Nonsense, the Cloud Dances the color inside a fierce scold forcibly put in the heart of a little disorderly forcefully pressed down. Long Qingxia is too mysterious to master. If you believe him, it's better to believe that there are ghosts in the world. Long Qingxia shakes his head and smiles. His golden eyes are full of potential. Little thing, you can't escape. I said, you are mine, people are mine, and heart is mine. Cloud Dance, ridicule way, the person is my own, the heart is also my own, even if I like others, you also can't control, isn't it? Long Qingxia's face suddenly became cold, and the thin lips with a smile outlined a kind of palpitating cold. I'll kill whoever you like. Under the Cloud Dance's gaze, Long Qingxia once again said, if you like the people in this world, then I will kill, heaven, next, people. Yunwu stares at the dragon's icy and fiery eyes. The deep eyes that make her want to tremble make Yunwu understand something. This man is serious. If she says that she loves people all over the world, he will really make life miserable and scorch everywhere. This man is really strong bloodthirsty. But, Long Xiao, before threatening me next time, find some hostages or things that are threatening to me. Cloud Dance mouth corner also slightly outline, don't care too much of swing hand, the head also don't return of toward the ground of the hollow place of that thin sword walk. This man really thinks that she is a fool who worries about the country and the people all day long and moans for others' life and death. What's the matter with her? When she was on the verge of life and death, how many people in the world tried to save her? Ever saved her? Long Qingxia looks at Cloud Dance's straight and cold back, and her words are still in his mind. Sexy thin lips, quietly outlined a touch of abnormal evil enchanting smile. The woman in his eyes is really unique and interesting. No wonder he liked her so much from the beginning. She was really of the same kind as him, and even thought the same as him. There is no other woman like this in the world. But at this time, Long Qingxia flashed in his mind. Nangong Yi, who came back from Los Angeles that day, frowned. That guy, If he wants to rob people with him, he won't be lenient. Yunwoo naturally didn't know what the dragon was thinking at this time. He walked over and pulled out the sword easily. This scene, on the contrary, makes the dragon Qing Xie, who wants to explain this thin sword to her, a little surprised. It seems that this sword really suits you. Yunwoo holds the handle of the sword and easily pulls several sword flowers. She finds that the element attribute left by the place where the sword body glides is not a single one. If she had read it correctly, there would be a very light red and silver in the air after the sword passed. At this time, the power of thunder and fire double attributes. After I found this sword, I had a lot of people try it, but most of them couldn't even hold it. Long Qingxie looks at the sword in Yunwoo's hand. Naturally, it's not easy to get it back. However, as long as the little thing likes it, it seems that it's worth everything. He's in a good mood. When Yunwoo picked up the sword, she liked it from the bottom of her heart. However, at this time, she seemed to find that Long Qingxie's eyes were a little brighter than usual. She almost subconsciously hid the sword behind her back. You want to give it to me? It's not a good habit to go back on time. When Long Qingxie heard the words, he was about to be carried away by Yunwoo's words. The pretty face under the mask was a little sad. Little thing, am I such a mean person? Cloud Dance shrugged, non-committal way, anyway, I just saw you rob other people's things. Well, you heartless little thing, I rob people's things in public for you. At last, you still depend on me? Long Qingxie seems to have been pulled out of the bone again. With the extension of his long arm, he hangs the whole person on Yunwoo. Anyway, this girl is in good health. Young men are not necessarily as strong as her. It's okay to let him hang up. What's more, he really likes to be close to her. Cloud Dance pushed Long Qingxie several times, but didn't push him away. Anyway, there was no one around, so I didn't care about him. Long Qingxie, it's you who ask people for things, and it's you who drive them away. What's the matter with me? What about that thing? Who's got it? Long Qingxie was enraged by Yunwoo's natural attitude and stretched out his hand to pinch her cheek. Yunwoo slapped his hand and said, most of the things have fallen into your everything market, haven't they? You also rely on me to spoil you. Yunwoo was so goosebumped by his words that he shook out his sword like a silver snake. He accidentally rubbed the back of Long Qingxie's hand and cut off a piece of his sleeve. The expensive brocade fell to the ground, and the dragon said, you little thing, do you really want to cut me? She just shakes a little by accident. How could she ever think that this sword is so sharp? Yunwoo was slightly surprised at the bottom of his heart, but he liked the sword better. However, to the question of men, Yunwoo also has some hard words. Who let your hand cheap? Don't chop you chop who. Still feel all day long, think she is the flower Nyang in which flower building. Dragon Qing evil smell speech, me long a pair of golden pupil, suddenly stretched out his hand to Cloud Dance into his arms, bowed his head to kiss in the past. Yunwoo is caught off guard. When she reacts, she bites the restless tongue of Dragon Qingxie. However, this time she didn't taste the blood. Instead, she was pinched by Long Qingxie and kissed thoroughly. After taking advantage of it, the dragon will let go of the Cloud Dance. That pair of golden pupil eyes seem to contain all over the sky starlight, people can't move their eyes. Little thing, next time you're so presumptuous, it won't be solved by a kiss. Yunwoo raised her hand and wiped the slightly swollen red lips ravaged by Long Qingxie. The numb touch made her very unacceptable. You good. A kiss for a sword, I've earned it. Long Qingxie looks at Yunwoo's appearance of refusing to show weakness, and his face is more smiling. Well, let's call it a day. Let's go back. The Cloud family has a big event waiting for you. Big deal. Yunwoo looks at the dragon in bewilderment. What's going to happen to the Cloud family? What's more, looking at the dragon's evil attitude, she is clearly waiting to see her good play. How can she easily make the dragon's evil wish come true? I seldom come to Longa. Are you driving me away? In the future, you can come whenever you want. As soon as Long Qingxia's hand was turned over, a jade pendant appeared in his hand out of thin air. He handed it to Yunwu and put her handbag in his hand. The ironing temperature made Yunwu avoid it from the skin contact. Yunwu broke away the dragon's evil hand and saw clearly that it was a gorgeous jade pendant carved with 5-clawed golden dragon. Behind the jade pendant, there was an ancient dragon. It seemed that it was not an ordinary jade pendant. Cloud Dance immediately, also roughly guess what is. Even give me the keepsake of the dragon pavilion. Don't you fear that I will sell you the dragon pavilion? Dragon Qing evil smell speech burst into laughter. The posture cannot say the evil spirit uninhibited. If anyone dares to buy it, I really want to see who has such great ability. I've heard about Longa and Long Xiao before Yunwu. It's not surprising that he has the confidence to know that it's not a matter of time for Long Qingxia to run the dragon pavilion. Yunwu looked at the jade pendant in his hand again, but he was not polite. He put the jade pendant into the space with his backhand. Just looked at him and asked, "Okay, don't give me a slap in the face. What's the matter with the Cloud family? No matter what, just remember that you are mine, only mine." Dragon tilts his heresy and raises his hand. The steward, who doesn't know where he was hiding before, comes out and presents a scabbard to Yunwu. Cloud Dance put the thin sword into the scabbard, took a deep look at the dragon, then turned away without nostalgia. Long Qingxia looked at her back and sighed. What a heartless little thing. Back to Yunfu. When Yunwu heard the news from Yunqi, she realized what event Longqing's heresy, big event is waiting for her, meant. The emperor orders me to be engaged to Long San. Cloud Dance brow deep lock. Yunlin sat on the throne, also worried, and his face was a little ugly. Although it is said that Nalongsan is a proton exchange agent from other countries, he is a complete loser. The emperor suddenly orders you to be engaged to him. It's really. Now he especially loves the granddaughter of Cloud Dance, and knows that with the existence of Cloud Dance, the Cloud family is bound to go further in the future. At this moment, it's a bit too much deception to betroth Yunwu to a useless man. When Yunwu saw Yunlin's appearance, he decided a lot. Grandfather, I'm afraid it's not that simple. Cloud Dance lightly said a sentence. After all, in the past half a month, all the people who came to assassinate her have died. The queen has no way to deal with her, so she must have to change another way. Yunlin was stunned when he heard the words. Immediately, he seemed to think of the person Yunwu thought of. His forehead full of wrinkles wrinkled more tightly. His eyes looked like dehydrated orange peel. 9 wenches, if it's really what she did, then this matter can't be solved. The queen wants to trip Yunwu. She is afraid that it is impossible for Yunwu to get rid of this marriage. Yunwu smiles coldly, remembering the scene of seeing the queen that day. The woman is not good at picking fault. What's more, she also knows that she is protected by an expert. She now suddenly sent her and Dragon 3 to make a pile. There must be some conspiracy in it. However, even if Yunwu knows that there must be some conspiracy, she has no ability to face up to conflicts. Fledgling, can only stay until the future. She is bound to let the queen for what she has done to pay the price. Grandfather, I want to go into the palace. 9 wenches, don't be impulsive. It's not good for you to provoke that person at this time. Don't worry, grandfather. I have a bottom in my heart. I won't do anything stupid. Yunlin knew that the 9 girls were not ordinary, but he asked, what are you going to do? Marriage, engagement. But I have my rules, too. Since she hasn't been able to resist positively for the time being, the imperial edict has been issued, and the engagement has become a foregone conclusion. Yunwu can still accept that Dragon 3. However, the queen and the emperor want to completely control her Yunwu in their hands, absolutely impossible. Zhou Batian was a little surprised when he learned that Yunwu came to see him. The empress mentioned that the Cloud family is very powerful. In order to avoid the occurrence of meritorious officials and evil masters, it is imperative to weaken the Cloud family. It's said that Yunqi recently dotes on the sick ninth lady in Yunfu. When the queen mentions that Yunwu can match the dragon 3, and the combination of waist and waist is made in heaven. After hearing this, Zhou Batian agreed with it. Therefore, it is the only way to tie the dragon 3 with the cloud dance. After all, Long San is not only a waist, but also carries the identity of a foreign exchange medium, which has some influence on the Cloud family. In the future, if the Cloud family wants to marry with other big families, they will have some scruples. But that Cloud dance is not a year-round lying on the bed of the sick. I heard that he was as timid as a mouse. How dare he come to the palace to find him? Just when Zhou Batian thought about these, Yunwu was brought in by the internal officials. Cloud dance, see the emperor. No gift. Thank you, emperor. When Zhou Batian saw the cloud dance clearly, he could not help frowning. This woman is not old, a pale face, even kneel up a bit shaky. It's really a good match for Long San. What's the matter with you coming to see me in the palace? If it wasn't for the face of old Master Yun, a girl like her, as the king of a country, would he summon her? Cloud dance is due to the emperor's engagement. Why, but what's wrong with the engagement? Zhou Beishan's face became a little serious. Cloud dance coughed a quite weak voice way. Cloud dance absolutely dare not to have dissatisfaction with the emperor's will, but Cloud dance has a condition, hope the emperor can agree. Conditions? This girl came to the palace to see him, but she wanted to talk to him about the terms. Does the girl think too much of herself? However, Zhou Batian wanted to hear what she wanted to offer. Well, let's hear it. It's up to me whether to answer or not. Cloud dance low-browed way. Cloud dance body is not good, I do not know what will go, but Cloud dance has always had a wish. Yunwu has always wanted to go to Shenwang Samurai Academy. Originally, Yunwu thought that there was no hope for this matter. Now, Yunwu boldly mentioned it and hoped that the emperor would succeed. When Zhou Batian listened to this request, he only felt ridiculous. A sick boy who would die at any time, did he think he died too slowly when he went to Shenwang Warrior Academy? After thinking for a while, he spoke with dignity. What you said is okay. I'll let you go with Long San. How can I say you are engaged? I can't break up a couple. Thank you, Emperor. Nothing else? Cloud Dance Weak Support shook his head. No, Cloud Dance dare not be too greedy. That's all right. After the engagement ceremony, you will go to Shenwang Samurai Academy with Long San. I will order you to avoid the test of both of you and go back with the people of Samurai Academy directly. Zhou Beishan's mind is that it's strange that a sick Cloud Dance, an already useless Dragon 3, can pass the extremely strict test of the King of God Warrior Academy. However, even if he can let them pass the test, the harsh and cruel environment in the Samurai Academy, whether they can come back alive or not is a matter of two minds. Dragon 3 a proton, died, Cloud Dance died, but can give Cloud family a wake-up call, not to mention this matter, or Cloud Dance put forward. Maybe not. Cloud Dance is leaving. Left Zhou Batian there, Cloud Dance can't help but feel cold in the heart. She didn't see what Zhou Batian was thinking, or what he was thinking. You want her and Long San to die in the Samurai Academy? Oh, at that time, I'm afraid I can't do what he wants. When she gets what she should get, she will take Long San back to the Imperial City together. At that time, she would not be so passive as now. It's just, Dragon 3 Cloud Dance understands that Dragon 3 is just a pawn in this engagement. Now that they are all involved, she will naturally guarantee his safety in the future. After all, there are not many people in the world who can be her friends. All of a sudden, the slight sound behind makes Yunwu's eyes change. With the current strength of Cloud Dance, there will be some reaction when someone follows behind. But at this time, she felt that the person was very close, and then she found that her eyes narrowed. A silver needle slid out of her fingers, a flick, the silver needle straight behind her. She thought it was the queen or the emperor who came to test, but she heard a very familiar cry. This is the deep and hoarse voice of the burn, in addition to the dragon 3, who else? What are you doing with me secretly? Cloud Dance turns around, and sure enough, sees Dragon 3, who is wrapped in black clothes, lying on the road, breathing cold air. I'm afraid of you. I'm afraid you're angry. Dragon 3 seems to have returned to the first time to meet, that kind of timid appearance, even with the Cloud Dance face-to-face do not dare. Yunwoo naturally knew that what he said was that he was afraid of her getting angry, which meant that the emperor ordered her to be engaged to him. What am I angry with? But you are not afraid to die in my hands when you follow me stealthily like this? Cloud Dance said and walked over. He lifted his clothes and pulled out the silver needle for him. No matter whether they were misunderstood when they were seen in broad daylight, they were both engaged. Who would misunderstand? This silver needle is poisonous. I'll wipe the antidote for you. Don't look for death like this next time. Long San didn't dare to look up and hesitated for a long time before he dared to apologize. Yes, I'm sorry. I hurt you. Well, don't apologize to me. It's none of your business. Don't think too much. Even if it wasn't him, it would be the same if the queen wanted to make a moth. But without me, you don't have to be engaged to a useless man. Waste people. She is now in other people's eyes, is not the same sick waste. I'm afraid that in other people's eyes, she and he are a perfect match, just to match. However, seeing the Dragon 3 wince and look like inferiority complex, the Cloud dances with no breath. Hand a stretch, forced to lift Long San's head. What's in your head, Cotton? As I said, whether a person is a useless person is never judged by others. But if you think you are useless, no one can help you. Yunwoo took a slow breath and said, I've asked the emperor to let you go to Shinwang Samurai Academy with me. When you get there, see if there's any way for you to learn something about self-protection. In this way, you don't have to be bullied in the palace. Dragon 3 looked at Cloud Dance in amazement, even forgot his guilt. I can go, King of the Gods Warrior Academy. Do you think I'll cheat you? No, of course not. Dragon 3 seems to be very surprised. Through the black gauze, it seems to be able to see his grin. I don't know whether he can get rid of the prison-like palace or go to Shinwang Warrior Academy, which makes him so happy. Cloud Dance helps Long San to get up and intends to send him back to his residence. But they didn't take a few steps when they heard a heartrending howl. Dragon 3 seems to be scared to shake. Some panic put out his hand around Yunwoo's arm, close to her body. Can't you be bold? Cloud Dance frowns away. In the heart some helpless, Dragon 3 this appearance, if arrived at the God King Warrior Academy, may have her tired. Let's go and have a look. Said the Dragon 3 originally, with the character of Cloud dancing, she didn't want to meddle in her own business, but in a vague way, she seemed to hear someone shouting, monster eats people, that flower eats people. When the clouds dance, the scalp is numb. Bad, how could she forget Hung Ling and Xiahongsh? Counting the time, it seems that Hung Ling and Xiahongsh have been in the palace for more than half a month. If the queen doesn't catch them and burn them to death, they are both very lucky. Go and have a look. It's about Hung Ling and Little Red Snake. Yunwoo doesn't delay any more. He wants to go by himself, but Long San grabs her. Yunwoo can only drag Long San all the way. The strong smell of blood stimulates people's sense of smell. When Yunwoo sees the broken body, which is obviously broken after being bitten, especially the saliva-like viscosity, he is sure that it must be Hung Ling's handwriting. And this discovery also made Yunwoo feel depressed and helpless. How many times did she tell Hung Ling not to eat people, but she didn't listen. If it develops the habit of eating people now, it will take human beings as its staple food in the future. After that, she will take it with her. Will the people around her be eaten by it from time to time? Think of this. Cloud Dance also want to quickly get Hung Ling back. Taking the corpse as the center, a vacuum zone was formed here. It was probably that Hong Ling was frightened and the eunuchs fled in panic. Long San looked at the corpse. At last, he twisted his head like he couldn't bear to see it. How disgusting! Cloud Dance saw him like this, pick eyebrow way. This is not last time you mouth, say that you have seen in your hometown, can produce very beautiful flower seeds out, really was planted by me out of such a small monster, how do you feel? If Hong Ling's chubby cannibal flowers are considered beautiful, then she really doubts Long San's vision. Long Sana dare not reply. Of course, Yunwu didn't really want to pursue anything. Seeing that he didn't say a word, he looked along the direction of the blood trace of the corpse on the ground, and then ran after him. Long San also hurriedly followed. The bloodstain is difficult to distinguish when it enters a relatively remote grove. Yunwu stood at the edge of the forest and called out to the inside. Hong Ling, come out for me. There was a breeze, and the leaves whirled. Yunwu squinted and called again. Hong Ling, if you don't come out again, I won't want you. As soon as the sound of this word fell, with a whoosh, Dragon 3 saw a little monster half-human tall, with a big bud on its head, staggering out from behind a big tree. Although you can't see the expression, you can see that the bud is submissive and afraid. Master. The flower bud opened with Hong Ling's words, revealing the sharp tusks inside and the saliva hanging on the tusks. It looked extremely ferocious. Cloud Dance see that walk out of the red ling, the eye flashed a touch of consternation. The original appearance of the huge red cannibal flower, at this time, obviously a large section of short, as if more refined feeling, big red bud into red, feel more ferocious. Is Hong Ling promoted? However, Yunwu soon calmed down, and his face was rather cold. I said I didn't say it, no cannibalism. Yes. Hong Ling has a weak momentum. What happened to the body just now? Hong Ling wronged, he wants to kill me and Little Red Snake. At this time, Long San seemed to be very interested. Seeing such a ferocious and terrible big fat flower, he was submissive to the Cloud Dance. Under the black dosha, the corner of his mouth outlined slightly. However, Hong Ling seemed to feel his sight, and felt a little uncomfortable. What are you looking at? Believe it or not, I ate you. Yunwu's face was serious. How, now even the people around me want to eat. Hong Ling buds swish together, and become submissive, dare not. In fact, it's the smell of this person that makes it feel very uncomfortable. Come on, what have you two been doing in the palace for most of the month? Why don't you go home? Hong Ling weighed, opened the bud, opened the mouth and began to explain. It turned out that he and the Little Red Snake happily sneaked into the palace. When they came in, they were very smooth and close to the place where the woman called the Queen lived. Ready, the smell of the Queen to eat tonic. But where to know, just close to the past, was found by the Queen, if not for its fast, I'm afraid it was burned to ashes. After that, the Queen sent someone to kill it and the Little Red Snake secretly, and they met each other, which was an endless situation. Little Red Snake and it have been in danger for several times. Fortunately, they both have great ability to live up to now, and they have taken many lives with them. Of course, only Hong Ling knows whether the scene has been exaggerated. You two can make trouble. When Yunwu thought that someone had just seen Hong Ling eating people, he felt that his head was big. Don't think about it. There must be a lot of trouble in the palace now. Hong Ling is such a big fat flower. How can she take Hong Ling away? Little Red Snake is easy to say. It can be solved by hiding it in clothes. By the way, where's the Little Red Snake? Hong Ling shakes Xiaopeng's arm like flower branches, with a ruby-like grain hidden in the green leaves. Cloud Dance and Dragon 3 looked carefully, only to find that it is the Little Red Snake. I can hide it. Can you two get out the same way? No, that bad woman is banned everywhere. I'll die if I meet her. Hong Ling wrongly shakes her body. Even if you can't eat that woman, you have to be calculated by that woman. It's too oppressive. Long San thought about it and said to Yunwu, I have a way to take Hongling out. What can I do? If you hide Hongling in my place for the time being, they won't go there even if they search the palace. When the engagement ceremony is over, I'll put Hongling in a gift box and send it out of the palace together. Cloud Dance thought about it and thought that this method was really feasible. And it's the safest and safest. Well, that's it. Yunwu warned Hongling, Hongling, you'll follow him during this period of time. You're not allowed to eat him, or I'll burn you as a flower. Do you hear me this Hongling, if you don't be cruel to it, won't take it seriously. Hongling heard that although she was reluctant, she shook the bud and nodded. Now. As soon as they discussed the solution, they heard a running sound. Long San looked back and frowned, it's the personal guard around the queen. Hongling, you hide first. Cloud Dance whispered a word to Red Ling, but turn ahead to see, discover Red Ling is much faster than their reaction. I've run away with Little Red Snake for a long time. Well, with such a pet, she runs faster than anyone in danger. She is drunk. When the people of the Queen's personal guard came to the woods, they saw Dragon 3 and Cloud dancing together, and they didn't bother to cover up their contempt. Why are you here? Cloud Dance see him a guard captain, to Dragon 3 unexpectedly even a basic ceremony all can't, eyes slightly sink for a while. Although, this Dragon 3 in the Zhou dynasty is to exchange the status of the son, but, how to say, in front of these people, it is also the master. The people taught by the queen don't understand the rules. They don't salute the master. Aren't they afraid to humiliate the queen? The commander of the guard didn't pay attention to Cloud Dance. He knew about the engagement between Long San and the waist lady of the Cloud family. He had also followed the queen to Cloud House once before. So at a glance, we can see who Yunwu is, but the sick seedling can say such words, which really surprised him. But what Yunwu said is right. No matter how much the waste Dragon 3 is bullied in the palace, it's hard to see, but it's a master after all. Moreover, it is said that the Cloud Dance has just met the Emperor. At this time, it will cause trouble to the Cloud Dance. So, the Empress's arrogant personal guards, led by the captain of the guards, did not want to salute Long San. No matter how perfunctory they are, they have lowered their heads. Dragon 3 looked at Cloud Dance this defend his behavior, black fight under the yarn, that pair of eyes can't help but deep a few minutes. Who knows, after they finished the ceremony to the Dragon Sanqing, Yunwu still refused to give up. My marriage with Long Shitzi was decided by the Emperor. You don't have to salute me when you see me. When did the captain of the guards suffer from such rubbish? He was immediately on fire. Miss Yun, don't deceive people too much. Cloud Dance cold hums away, who is deceiving people too much after all, think the heart of bodyguard Long is clear. Why, do you want me to go to the Emperor to comment on this in person? Cloud Dance moved out of the Emperor, the captain of the guard naturally did not dare to say anything, had to humiliate to Cloud Dance salute. After seeing those people salute, Yunwu said blandly, we just heard someone calling for help, so we'll follow the bloodstain to have a look. It's good if we can save someone. Now that you're here, it's up to you to go into the woods and have a look. Yunwu has confidence in Hongling and Little Red Snake. They can play with this group of people in the palace for so long, so even if they go into the woods, they will not have any effect. The captain of the guard was humiliated. He would not let them go so easily. He turned his eyes and had an idea. The monster is what the queen said to catch. You two are suspicious. Please wait here and reply to the queen with us. In this way, even if you can't catch the monster, you can make a difference to the queen. After all, these days, those monsters who did not know anything made the palace panic, and the queen would force them to death. It's none of our business to catch monsters. Does Captain Cheng Wei think that we too have the ability to manipulate the murderer? How can Yunwu not know what his abacus is? For this kind of person, if the current situation does not allow, Yunwu will not let him go easily. No matter what, please cooperate a little. Otherwise, no one can afford to blame the queen. Long San blocks Cloud Dance behind him and takes the initiative to come forward. If I want to see the queen, I'll go myself. Miss Yun is weak. Let her go back first. The guard commander flashed a touch of disdain at the bottom of his eyes and said coldly, it's not that his subordinates don't give Long Shitzi face. It's that if his subordinates let Miss Yun go back first, it's not that he let his subordinates lie to the queen. My subordinates can't afford it. I think Long Shitzi can't afford it either. So it's better for you two to explain to the queen in person. A waste, now also have the courage to defend others. Smell speech, Cloud Dance, eyes slightly cold. Long San is tied up with her because of her engagement. These slaves bully Long San face to face and beat her in the face. I'll go with you. However, if this matter can't be solved, you can wait to see the emperor. The guard commander ignored Yunwu's threat and waved to the others behind him. The guards immediately entered the woods and began to search. As Yunwu expected, they didn't even find the shadow of Hongling. The guard chief's face was very ugly. He said to Yunwu and Long San, you two, come with us. Along the way, Yunwu and Long San, who were led by the queen's personal guard, attracted countless suggestions. One is a well-known waste and the other is Miss Yun, who is about to die. She has just been married by the emperor. I'm afraid the news is not only spread in the palace, but also in the whole imperial city. Waste with waste, perfect. Satirical smile, must be indispensable gossip spread. Yunwu is very calm about other people's sight, and still keeps her sick posture. And Long San, wearing a black veil, covered his face, naturally people can't see his expression at this time. To the back hall. The captain of the guard took Yunwu and Long San alone to meet the queen. After hearing the captain's description, Shuoyo looks at Yunwu and Long San with a sense of killing. You two let the monster go. Since more than half a month ago, the whole palace has been bustled by unknown monsters. Shuoyo obviously dares to feel it. It seems that it is aimed at her. Cloud Dance looks at that empress, still face does not change color, however, is unusual careful to estringe oneself breath, lest be discovered by her. What strange. What monster? After meeting the emperor and passing through the garden, I met Long Shitzi. After a few words of conversation, Ganglong Shitzi heard someone yelling for help from the cannibal monster. We went to have a look, but we didn't see any monster except the disgusting corpse. We were so scared that we just wanted to leave, but unexpectedly, we were brought back by the guard chief. What else did the guard chief say so that we could talk to the queen? I don't understand what the captain said. Are you going to take us as a scapegoat? Cloud Dance is frowning, looking at that empress of don't understand of say. As soon as he said this, the captain's face changed and he wanted to explain quickly, Queen, it's not. However, before he finished speaking, he was interrupted by Yunwu's words, both Long Shitzi and I can't practice, and we have no power to bind chickens. In the face of that kind of cannibal monster, we don't even have the power to protect ourselves, let alone let go. If we really meet, I'm afraid the guard chief will only bring back our bodies. It's true that if you see that cannibal monster, you'll be alive. But, all sent to come, how can you let them go like this? Shuoyo stroked her bright red nails, but her beautiful face made people feel very gloomy. Since you know you don't have the ability to protect yourself, do you want to die? It's a natural reaction to hear someone cry for help and want to save someone. You can't hear someone cry for help. The first reaction is to run for your own life and turn a deaf ear to it. Cloud Dance seems to be weak and sick, but the words are clever, which makes Snow Willow very angry. Her beautiful eyes stare at Cloud Dance, hoping to get rid of it. So you mean you two have nothing to do with the monster? Yes. The Snow Willow beautiful Mao danger am I, this palace hand person is killed by that monster this matter so lightly of past, is impossible. You are here today. Unless you can give us a more reasonable explanation, we will not be spared. Up to now, Shuoyo still remembers the repeated calls for help in her palace after she saw the fake popular that night. And then there's the man-eating monster. It's all a coincidence. This makes Shuoyo have to contact the fake fashion and that person, claiming to be the woman's request, and secretly protect Yunwoo. After that, none of the killers who were sent out to assassinate Yunwoo came back, which is a shame to Shuoyo. But for some reason, she couldn't do it. Since she is protected by experts, she can't be killed for the time being. Therefore, she and Zhou Batian proposed to match Yunwoo and Long San. In addition to a little excuse to vent anger, but also to make that woman's daughter, with the world's largest ugly waist, which can make her feel a little happy. Now, Cloud Dance and Dragon 3 hit the door by themselves, and she couldn't let them go. Well, what does the queen want to do? How about the emperor judge? The Snow Willow smiles, as if laughing at the innocence of Cloud Dancing. There's no need to bother the emperor. There's a better way in this palace. Shuoyo pointed to the guard captain and said to Yunwoo, as long as you can take my guard captain's moves, let me make sure that you really don't have the power to protect yourself, my palace will believe you. Yunwoo didn't expect Shuoyo to kill her so much. It was clear that he wanted to kill her with a knife and let her die in the hands of the guard captain. This let the guard captain on one side, inexplicably some hesitation. After all, the marriage between Yunwoo and Long San is the emperor's will. In case he plays Yunwoo well or ill, how can the emperor bypass him? Empress, I'm afraid it's not right. If you are in this palace, where are you qualified to refute? The Snow Willow hears the words of the guard chief, the beautiful eyes flash a touch of Yin Han, copy up a pure gold fruit plate on the table and smash toward him. The head of the guard was smashed and his face was covered with blood. He knelt down in a panic and begged for mercy to the queen. Dragon 3 see Empress this not to achieve the goal of the way, and then look at Cloud Dance, finally stand out. Empress, Yunwoo is not in good health. Let me do it. You? Who doesn't know that you are a waste of broken meridians? If we let people fight with you in our palace, isn't it necessary for us to be honest? Cloud Dance laughs in the heart, and she this sick seedling sun hands-on, won't fall person's mouth solid. It's just that the queen's purpose from the beginning was to dance in the clouds. Yunwoo weighed the situation in her heart and suddenly had a new idea. What the queen said is, let me do it. The captain of the guard saw that they were fighting for death and regretted bringing them here. It's better to be beaten by the queen than to be beheaded by the emperor later. Cloud Dance's sick face, with a little fear-like smile, said to the guard captain, please be merciful, Cloud Dance life, but also keep engagement. The captain of the guard complained endlessly, but under the queen's gaze, he had to work hard. Cloud Dance in each other's hands, each time seems to only know how to get away in a hurry, unprepared. But in fact, every time when the opponent's attack is about to reach him, Yunwoo deliberately transfers some strength to the attack part to resist internal injury. As soon as the commander of the guard made a move, he was ruthless. Cloud Dance is suppressing the resistance and counterattack of internal strength instinct, forehead is full of sweat. After 1, 2, and 3 attacks, Yunwoo is ready to lift her breath, hold out a mouthful of blood and fall to the ground. But it never occurred to me that suddenly, even in the chaos hall in the sea of consciousness, there was a sudden shock, and there began to be some strange signs. This makes Yunwoo's face change. It's frightening that her face turns white for a moment. Secretly, she is trying to suppress the change. She's worried about what the queen will see. I'm afraid that she and Long San will not be able to walk out of the back hall today. In the queen's eyes, Yunwoo was injured, especially Yunwoo's face was suddenly pale, as if she was about to die, which made her feel comfortable. Now, when the guard commander saw that he wanted to fight in the Cloud Temple, the Dragon 3 on one side was scared out of his wits and rushed over with all his strength. Just saved Yunwoo from the danger of her being smashed in the head. Long San holds Yunwoo in his arms as if his heart wants to crack. Listening to her tiny pain, his hoarse voice shouts at Shuoyo. Empress, if you fight any more, you will be killed. Do you want the emperor to ask you the cause of Yunwoo's death? The Empress smelt speech, eyebrows slightly wrinkly once. This reminds her that if Yunwu is really killed, the Emperor will not sit back and ignore him. How to say, there is also an old master of the Cloud family. Looking at Yunwu's half-dead appearance, it seems that she can't live for a long time, and her breath is a little more relaxed. It's nothing to do with this. It's the negligence of our palace. It seems that Yunwu can't even keep his own life. Shuoyo changed her posture and scolded the captain of the guard. I'll let you have a try, but I don't want you to kill. How can I do that? The commander of the guard was not a man inside or outside, and he did not dare to say anything, so he had to kneel down and admit his mistake repeatedly. Well, Long Shitzi, you take Yunwu to find a royal doctor. Don't really kill people. I can't bear it. Long San clenches his teeth and holds Yunwu, swallowing the humiliation from the queen. Thank you for your kindness. Yunwu is weak in Long San's arms. Her weakness is not all disguised. The abnormal movement of Chaos Hall is more and more obvious, and she can't suppress it anymore. Long San helps Yunwu leave the queen's dormitory. No one noticed that when he walked out of the palace gate, Long San looked back. That pair of black eyes and the leakage of the intention to kill, enough to make anyone with his eyes trembling, out of his wits. On the way, Yunwu noticed that the changes in her body were more and more intense. There was a strong force in the Chaos Hall, pulling her in. Dragon 3, let me sit down. Long San carefully supported Yunwu and sat down against an uncle. He was at a loss. He didn't know how to help her. Just as Yunwu sat down, a mouthful of red blood spurted out. Even after the appearance of easy to look, people can see her at this time of depression. Long San was frightened by her. Cloud Dance, can you hold on? It's okay. Don't disturb me. Yunwu didn't even have the strength to open her eyes, so she had to rely on the big tree to not let herself slide down. As soon as his spirit relaxed, Yunwu felt as if he had fallen into the whirlpool of the storm and was dragged into the Chaos Hall by the huge force. In the Hall of Chaos, the dragon is floating in the air. On the lawn of the open space, the mysterious little tree is full of vitality, luxuriant and green. Everything is as usual. But Cloud Dance is to feel something is not right. Like in the sun, there is always a cold breath chasing her, haunted in general. The eyes that peeped at her in the dark fog suddenly appeared in Yunwu's mind, which made her nervous. Come out. Yunwu drinks at the empty Chaos Hall in front of him, and his whole body is on the alert. A thick black fog gradually appeared in front of the clouds. Isn't that the black fog in her spiritual space before? How could she be in this Chaos Hall? At this time, the black fog seems to be thicker than when Yunwu saw it last time. Now the black fog, more like a thick ink, exudes a kind of extremely uncomfortable atmosphere for Cloud Dance. A pair of blood-red eyes appeared in the black fog, those eyes with unspeakable evil. You seem to have got something interesting. When Yunwu heard the sound of crossing the glass with nails, he felt pain in his mind. She tried her best to resist the discomfort and said to the black fog with a cold face, "How can you be in the Hall of Chaos? Did you torture me just now?" Black fog gives out Jia's strange smile and does not deny the speculation of Cloud Dance. This Hall of Chaos is my place of residence. Before I entered your spiritual space, I just wanted to play with you. Just for fun. Last time, almost did not want her life, this black fog, but just want to play with her. This makes Yunwu cold and angry. But then he guessed that the black fog would appear in the Hall of Chaos. He must have been imprisoned here instead of living there. Because, now, she is the master of this Chaos Temple. Suddenly, the corner of the mouth slightly coldly recalled, is it? I don't care if you used to have the ability to communicate with heaven or how you could be in the Chaos Hall, but now I am the master of the Chaos Hall. You'd better see this fact clearly. Yunwu hates others to treat her as a doll. The black fog makes trouble when she is in danger, which makes Yunwu very disgusted. The black fog was excited by the words of Cloud Dance, and finally seemed to succumb to the reality, and his eyes were a little bit astringent. As long as you give me what you find, you can get rid of me and have the best of both worlds, can't you? What did I find? Yunwu thought about it, thinking of the mysterious object covered with soil she got from the everything market. No wonder there was a change in Chaos Hall at that time, and the tornado didn't respond to that thing. It turned out that all this was caused by the black fog. Damn it! She thought it was the treasure of Chaos Hall. She didn't want to take it until she knew it was the black fog. Just now, I almost let myself leak in front of the queen. Black fog see Cloud Dance don't reply, some anxious way, that thing is not human can use, you keep also have no use. Cloud Dance picked eyebrows. Even if I can't use it, I don't seem to need to take advantage of you. But if you say what you are, I can think about it. The black fog solidified for a moment, and the scarlet eyes narrowed fiercely. You have no right to know what I am. Give me that. Otherwise, you will have to experience such pain once a day in the future. You're tuning into the Blissful Bookshelf YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.